again today with another edition of Social Media Review. And today, I get with me a very, very strong voice, two very strong voices on social media, where they on both sides of the SLPP and the APC. We have Mr. Koita, Comrade Koita, aka Comrade Koita, we all man know him for. He is a member, active member of the APC party, and he's also an activist. Then we guest with another strong SLPP member when I've been a former secretary for I don't forget in title, sorry, I wrote it down, but I forget. But Mr. Emmanuel Ali done there with me before now, a very active member of SLPP, and I've been the regional secretary general, na the diaspora, na America, Northern America, and also he's an APC member. He there with me today in location today, then a Freetown, and same with Comrade Koita. Instead of then a Freetown, we want can talk on issues them. And I get my co-host, Mr. Shilon, because with Professor Kutubu, he has not been feeling, 100% today under the weather a little bit, so he has not been able to come. We pray for him. Let God give him blessing for whatever is going on, with her. So also, we pray for the one them where they among we were sick, let God give you blessing. The one there where they mourn them people that we don't die, let God give them the peace, let God grant them heaven for nothing. The one that we don't go before. And also, the one that where they mourn, let God comforts them and give them the strength. Like I can always say, it's another day, it's another chance to make things right, to give praise to the Almighty God for life. Because if no matter how bad you think you have it, be grateful because somebody out there will exchange places with you. And me again after Dima, so I go bring me guests there in. No, we can't talk on issue them, but I will bring them forth, let them introduce themselves because today the topic we therefore can talk on the white paper. This white paper don't make balls from where 2 weeks ago President Pio don't drop the white paper long anticipated over a year. They don't do commissions of inquiry. Now the white paper is down there. Oh, don't want more for that white paper. There's small bit. Then we will come on the response of former president, and it's by Koroma in response to the white paper. After we done that day, we will come to the ACC. The ACC Commissioner Ben Kelfala invites the former president, say it get for Siam. And we see in social media, the people of McKinney revolt, rise up, and team up, say they're not going to take them people, the path for go because all the reason they wait and give and all that stuff, they will go up much for because if I know get two people on the different side, let all man give their own point of view, let we try for understand which side all man they come up. So now then they will play a call. And so we want to know what is the message to the people from the people of McKinney. What is the message where they do this kind of demonstration and coming out. Some people call it lawlessness, some people call them demonstration, some people call them uprising. All man getting name we then call them. So now that day we want for Carol up much on. So first, Mark, give you to Mr. Emmanuel Ali. Tell the people them I do. And just give small introduction of yourself again because I've been stumbling under small bit, say the brains roll. I don't know how to the paper I mean. Yeah. So go ahead, just tell people that really know small but you.
Okay, thank you, Fadima. Thank you, Mr. Savage. Mr. Savage, right? Your co-host. I'm screwing up.
Mr. Sheila.
It's getting contagious.
It's getting
contagious, as a matter of fact. Anyway, it's been a while. It's been a while since I've been on VOS. But I say hello to everyone and Ms. Fadima. And I hope tonight we can have a good conversation and establish some good understanding about what is going on. From the onset, I'm going to challenge Ms. Fadima that the people of McKinney are not coming out on their own, that the whole project of people standing out there in the way of justice is choreographed, is all set up by Kuruma and his cronies.
Okay, we will come there. We will come there. We will get there.
Conversation about that.
We will get there. So,
okay, that's all for now.
Okay, thank you. And Mr. Koita, Comrade Koita, sir. Comrade Koita, please tell the people then, but you said small, just give a quick summary of who you are. Who is Comrade Koita?
Good evening, fellow Sierra Leoneans. To news and evening now, to Nasai, afternoon or morning, depends on the part of the whole day. My name is Amadou Koita Makalo, commonly known as Comrade Koita, somebody who stand for the truth. We mean an APC member and active somebody in social media. We are the talk on issues which affect Sierra Leoneans. Well, I know the who can say for somebody in McKinney issue proper. Will come out to reach the I will talk about 28 years and retire honorably and can join politics for do and not voiceless. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And Mr. Shillon, to you, say hi to the people that are our loyal, legal gentlemen among us. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you very much, Madam Fadima. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning to all we listeners then, wherever you may be in the world. I hope it's a convenient time for you for listening. This show, as usual, is to allow people then we get views for channel and views through this medium, as long as you do it respectfully, honorably, and try for at the end of it all, that we all walk out of here having learned something from each other. So that's the intent. It may not always be accomplished, but the intention and so I'm glad for meet my co-host today and the guest, Mr. Ali and Mr. Koita. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Well, me people there, when I know say the pandemic, they go on, the coronavirus, they go on, the world, they try for fend medicine for them, but medicine not there yet. So we get preventive measures and what they take. But, you know, Salone, it look like, say, we don't fashion for this 72 deaths, right? Because the last time back, have been 72 deaths. So that means that they do well. Nobody know that not die. It's like we don't reach the plateau or whatever. We go begin go down now and all that kind of thing a day. But like I say, we have 72 deaths. Today is October 11th, 2020. We get 72 deaths. And 498 people there right now we get active coronavirus, and up to date all the people that will be done positive for corona are 2,306 people them don't test positive for corona. So Padawan then day, like I say, 72 don't die, 400 and something, then all the rest they know well. We tell God thank you for that. We get thing that when they say we get for wear mask, but waiting at the problem when they see people them where now then they up na the administration, when then they up na government from either side, high party member them, then they go places, they know they wear, and we get for set the example. They know they wear the mask. Corona is real. We see Donald Trump last week. Donald Trump get corona, they can go, they bring a camp, but this is what money does. You know, in a president, they can get the best of care. You know, even though not God get life, but then go get the best of care. So it don't go back, it recover from corona, but corona is real, corona is there. It might not be dropping people in Freetown, Sierra Leone, but guess what? Corona is real. We get for a heat to the thing then. But I just want to work much small for the test the way that they do not, but coronavirus. Coronavirus, una way get for go Freetown, Mr. Ali go help me with that. And they small, they want they go Freetown. Because I guess somebody will travel, we're not able for travel, then days here because it do a test. It says Sierra Leone and they ask for the PCR test. And in America, the RNA test, now the highest test, the most guaranteed test, but they almost, you know, they miss them flight. Then the second time, password they get for make phone call and make before they able put them on the flight. So people get for be careful and get for find out where they go on Freetown for no who's test then they where they call in Freetown, who's test then they accept. And then we don't hear say back where you go on Freetown, you pay the money na ya. Where you go na online, you pay the money. Then they ask you na Freetown for certificate. But by so where you pay, then they give you say paid. They know they say certificate. They don't they say paid. But so una get for find then detail the day before una they go, no una not go able follow, una not go able make una flights them. So get for pay attention to that. So una be mindful. Say America, they say RNA test, now they do now, but Freetown they ask for PCR test. So I don't know what's in the difference, but they say this now the not the rapid test. America they say that the guarantee one where they take some time, we go through the lab and testing before we go. But Salone get their own different tests. So Mr. Emmanuel, as you just go Freetown not to say it, waiting at the difference, did you have any problem with that, sir?
Well, based on the protocol, when me follow, in fact, me not pay now America. You just go na the portal, you fill out the information, you put your passport, your picture, and at Freetown you can pay. The problem actually is not it's not the protocol now by the aviation department. The problem are the airlines them. The communication from the government to the airlines somehow gets muddy. And waiting the airline and they tell the passengers that now they're the problem. They're not waiting the government to tell the airlines. Because the process when we come, it was very smooth. It took less than 15 minutes for I clear the test. Again, a nose swab, just like what they do in America, the same test what they do in India. So for me, the process be easy. Most people come in easy. However, when you're there under whether not from America to Europe to here, the airlines are where the issues are, not to the government. I think that needs to be clarified.
Well, so somebody from aviation clarify that for we people then, because it is coming to holiday season, people want to go Freetown. I miss all this corona, some people still the travel. So people the left on gets down, they know say, find out real well, waiting and they accept, because they're not gonna make you board the flight if you get the wrong test or whatever it is. Anybody else get for add to this corona before we go to the issue at hand, please?
I have a question.
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Ali, what you say the problem now with the airlines, not to the government, you can able for explain to we how for avoid getting entangled with one interpretation by the airline and another by the government. In other words, say if I were to leave this country now and go Freetown, do I just go on the plane and fly, or will I have to show proof prior to leaving or upon leaving, proof that I have already taken a COVID-19 test? Will I have to do
Mr.
that,
Shilon,
or will I just fly when I reach Freetown, then I can take the test there?
Well, I can tell you this much. The aviation department also get a website, and everything we then want, it's right there on the website. And all the protocols we then request, it's spelled out very clearly and it's updated. Now, let me share this with you. If you get 50 people then they fly out of Dulles or Chicago to Belgium or wherever, I can assure you.
He's frozen.
Yeah, we got for be as small.
The airlines are practicing 50, perhaps 20 different protocols. Or even, then just ask me for show them me test paper. And I'll be the trouble with 2 picking themselves. But where other people then they go, they just get the airline out there is not consistent. So the problem really is with the airline. It's not with the government here or the aviation department, because they don't make a very clear what they want. Now, almost any side way they fly, the process is so discretional at who is asking for what. There lies the problem. So I don't know if I can actually prescribe any descriptive actions where any traveler go take, other than you follow the guidelines where the aviation department give. You argue to them, say this is exactly what is required, and I think with that you could prevail.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Coulter, anything you want to add for we corona? No, sir. Come with Coulter, no? Okay, now, we don't left the corona, so check first, verify.
I don't want to talk anything because I don't travel out of Salone, so okay. I don't want to talk anything about that.
Okay, thank you. Because this now message now me first cousin them me want travel, but then get them problem then they that's why I'm putting it out there for the people that
I
know
don't know.
and be very very thing. So we go to the next topic for the day. We go to the next conversation where they can get. We see President Bill last year he come up with
I don't
commission
know
of
if I mean what they
inquiry.
affect.
And the commissions of inquiry, we waited for 9 months, 10 months, 1 year and some months. And then the commissions of inquiry closed in 9 months. But then the president built all the paper, he all the findings. And now it dropped and call it a white paper. And this white paper is just a summary or handful or unpick of the one them where the president and the administration feel say he won't go after. Now, then they don't put her out there and it targets certain individuals. And then they have some people that were in the commission of inquiry, but they not include them in the white paper. This is where the problem begins. This is where the noise begins. This is where the voice becomes louder. This is where opposition calls it witch hunt. This is where opposition calls it. Then they pick for pick other than the way they call tribalism. This is where the opposition calls. So, Mr. Coulter, I give you the floor first. You see the commissions of inquiry, and I hear you audio them where you put out there, and you make them plain one say, then pull some people them, they not pull some people them. Why they not pull all the report for let it be public notice for let people they able for go and see waiting all three then judge and they been fine. So I'll give you the floor, let you talk, waiting you feel say your own view in response to that commissions of inquiry and the white paper, sir.
Thank you very much, Ms. Fadima. I want to tell every listener, say, in the first place, every well-meaning in Sierra Leonean will be accountable if they can serve in the left office. Why we want to hold people accountable? Because we want to make Salone equal opportunity for benefit totally at Salone. But however, if you want to do anything, the first thing you do, we have to be honest to itself and with conscience. And we have to be honest to the people there. Before I took can the white paper, when they want to institute the commission of inquiry, you find out see the other group in the first place, they therefore respect the laws of this country. Meaning, if you then appeal for anything, when I therefore listen to the people I appeal, by the court, it's either they win them or they turn them down before they continue. So in the first place, we not be ever recognize the commission of inquiry because we didn't send the matter to the court, they not listen to the matter, then they still go to the commission of inquiry. That is one. Secondly, when President beyond the camera power, it talks in the target people who serve under the former president administration. Meaning, it not be distinguished, not differentiated, but we see inside the commission of inquiry, again, ministers serving President Bill in government, where they even pull them because of corruption inside the commission of inquiry, they not call them, they not measure them. So we begin question say the commission of inquiry in the first place is not credible because in the credible manner, if you want to target certain people or for certain reason, we then serve under administration, they say they let certain people them automatically you don't become doubtful. So me from the day one I tell them, see, they get for respect the rule of law, we respect the constitution, where that aim we all for follow before we do anything. You see, when the inquiry go by law, if we don't make a commission of inquiry, we are not set the time frame. The report of the commission of inquiry and then first the published out to people them. Voting the commission recommend. Not so that for make a secret, just go sit down by themselves. Me take a see. Now all the things inside the GTC report. Now, in the manifesto, inside the white paper, there's no ever tell them that the whole thing at the report what the Commission of Inquiry recommend, nothing, then we see, then just come to a white paper where they just select people them who also do selection from the former president, take and like 100 people them, they say them for investigate them. Investigate them for waiting. Because this is a matter of the way we're going to Commission of Inquiry for waiting and investigate them. What time they report? What are the causes? What did they do wrong? What did they do right? Putting out the evidence is the way they don't get that, what they not put out to the public. So when that happens, I tell them, say, in the first place, we don't begin miss the
We get a little bit of technical difficulty. Mr. Koita, I guess, location, Freetown. Both our guests today are from Freetown, so we get for be a small bit which we thing.
Sorry, I'm getting.
Yeah, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, and I call interrupt. Sorry. We see where they just can't put the white paper report. We then go to them, me for me, and what I just do so many recommendations. According to the Commission of Inquiry, I'm stand to be corrected because that's what I'm. They're saying a 5-volume document, but just 2. Where are the 3 reports? What's in there right? What's in there say? What are the recommendations? People that say, like now people, because these people are APC people. I get to all know from a single political party, people know for the government where they are not politicians. Then there be professional heads like the permanent secretaries. They are not politicians. If you are indicting a minister for any reason, the permanent secretary and the professional head is the person for being indicted. We see how them pull the report, call people them, call institution they will be saying, not to any political institution them. But why they put them at white paper? Nobody know the reason. Okay. Because if the report be non-commerce, we all see them, we digest them very well, we see what's in the commission recommend, then if they pull any report now, would they take them from that point? But nobody know why they call them puller. Why they call them like Lincoln University? We see them call company them. What made them call them? We don't know. They'll see after that, just after the white paper, where the thing they will see where the ACC, where for over 2 years, they not ever come up to any report. They'll see the ACC just take that report, they say that they invite the former president to come question them based on waiting, then say the Commission of Inquiry will find them. So we see say it's like one, we get for respect people them by in as much as one do the right thing, we will do out respect.
Okay. All and they quick.
If you
okay, comrade Culture, all and they like give Mr. Emmanuel Chancellor a address you say. Because Mr. Emmanuel, we don't agree with Comrade Poiter, don't say it is not credible, it is not constitutional, it is directly coming from the GTT report, and the GTT report, the people that will make we've been dated most of the opposition, and it was a target and selected people that they target. What can you say? How can you speak on that matter?
Well, Madam Fadima and Mr. Koita, I think there's a lot of misinformation going on. First of all, I just debunk the contradiction where Mr. Koita put out. One, he claims that he never saw the volume where the Commission of Inquiry published, which is true. And on the other hand, in a contradictory way, he claims to know who all is in that volume and who was reflected in the white paper and who was not. Well, you cannot claim to not have seen the names on the Commission of Inquiry report, and then claim say they left people there out, and then they put some people out. I mean, so for me, right there is the fault on the argument on the APC side. That is number one. Number two, I think again we go continue for beat this dead horse, but the process that gave rise to the white paper has been spelled out, laid out, and I think even the ordinary Australian understands that the forensic audit that preceded correction, that followed the election of the president was subsequently also followed by a statute of the parliament that authorized the commission of inquiry, which in turn was led by 3 independent judges, 2 of which were from Ghana and Nigeria. And again, as we see, the president released a publication very recently where he terminates all officers in his administration who were mentioned in the commission of inquiry who are currently serving. Now, the template that I have just laid out cannot be more fair, cannot be more transparent, cannot be more authentic in terms of an administration carrying out an investigation. Everybody in Australia agrees that corruption is a rampant thing, that the commission was necessary. Even APC agreed to that. But all the arguments APC is making does not hold water, because every one of those arguments have been countered, and the facts are contrary to their arguments. So let me just pause there. But I think it's important to lay that out, that you have not seen the Commission of Inquiry volume report, yet you claim to say that there are people who are left out and there are people who are not left out in the white paper. On what basis are those claims made, if I may ask?
Mr. Koita, you want to respond to that?
Yes, it's not. I don't claim. I do talk with an authentic evidence. I can measure specifically the last minister. It's somebody who served in former President Kuma's government, and he was accused of corruption during the past regime. The whole commission of inquiry was set up, and he was never invited. So I'm not claiming. The problem we are having in Sierra Leone, we have to honest and speak for the nation. We cannot continue deceiving people. Because I'm an APC man, I supported the Commission of Inquiry 100%. I do support it. But mind you, the Sierra Leone administration go against it. But this is the body that's responsible. Let me land. This is the body that's responsible for the legal system. They do condemn, and they took the matter to court. We have to respect the laws of the land. If you want to fight corruption, the first thing is respect the laws of the land. You follow due process of the law. Nobody, I'm saying this, I'm 100% support in combating corruption, because we want a better nation. We want to do it with an honest manner, with a genuine manner, without just targeting people because of political party. We don't want to target people. Because let me tell you, the example we are setting today, if we don't condemn and it will not lead us anywhere, we are not combating corruption, rather targeting, because you are an SLPP, I'm an APC, period. We have to, I can say something with evidence. I can name so many. Have people that I can
if you may allow me.
Let me finish that thought 1 second, Mr.
Let me just land. Let me just land.
Go ahead.
Let me just land. Yeah, if you can index.
Let me talk Creole, please.
Okay, now, sorry. If you can index somebody, if you can index somebody, yes, if you can index somebody, wait, serve as DG, now Minister of Defense, for just like 9 months, you let somebody serve for over 5 years, you free them from outing. Well, most of the scenarios, if you talk about corruption, defense, somebody served that the defense has DG for over 5 years, and somebody served for 9 months in that, and you left that person there. What's that mean? You look at the angle. Sometimes we don't, I know they support something where they go through time and regional line basis, because I want a cohesion. I want Salone to speak as Sierra Leoneans. But we get for honest, to be conscious, we look at the right thing, we say, yes, this is right. It's not forget about the political party we belong. No, I don't care about that.
Okay.
But let's forget, say, it's APC argument. It's not APC argument.
Okay, let me give
we are talking of something that's affecting Sierra Leoneans. Let's keep APC or APC.
Okay, Mr. Shillong, go ahead. Then I go call Mr. Emmanuel, go ahead. Then I go call Mr. Shillong in. You got something where you want to interject to waiting come with quota say.
Yeah. Well, again, I just want for come back to the original point I make.
Mm-hmm.
You claim, say, there were people named in the Commission of Inquiry who were not reflected in the white paper. Your statement where you make again goes back avoid that statement, avoid the Minister of Mines, or Lands, I don't know which one you refer to, was being investigated by the former government. But that's not what the commission was doing. They were not investigating what APC was investigating. The white paper is a reflection of the commissioning report. So again, you still know report your statement, say you know who that be there of inquiry. You say he was investigated by proof is that he did not the commission, and that's the argument you're stating. So I suppose you don't capitulate on that, and we can move forward. But the fact of the matter is, the process where the president and the government follow has been very transparent, and I may not really see cause for alarm.
Okay, lawyer Shilon, you know you read the two gentlemen and they don't give their own side.
Yeah.
They don't give them view, they don't give them points. You hear Mr. Koita, they say it was selective, it's not credible, and go against the constitution. And then Mr. Emmanuel, they say the thing where then be investigated during President Kourouma term, not only in this administration, they do. The President Bureau administration, so then choose different other side and go the different route. How do you see it, and what do you think? But then two money are waiting, they don't, gentlemen, they're waiting, they don't say.
Well, to me, the question is whether it's factual on Mr. Koita in part that names that may have been mentioned in the commission's reports were left out in the white paper, which I assume the white paper is not a complete reflection of the commission's report, a summary. So if Mr. Koita say names were left out, just for enlightening the rest of we, because I tend to agree with him to a point if it is true, because if certain names were left out, that were in the commission's report but did not find their way into the white paper, it may, out of a sense of fairness, it may be good to find out what to make them left their names than they out, if in fact we're able to mention the names. The problem we get now with the current government, which is, I not doubt the intention at all. And I think we all now agree with one thing. Corruption has to be tackled. Otherwise, the country has no future, without a doubt. And regardless of whose political party you are, you cannot encourage or allow or refuse to criticize people whose sole desire in getting into government or politics are for enrich themselves. We can't tolerate that regardless of whose political party you be. I would think that if you first primary concern should be who we are as a people. When a Sierra Leonean, party loyalty for can second. Under no circumstance should we allow party loyalty for supersede country loyalty. So the intentions of the current government, I think, without a doubt, are well taken. I think the problem is giving some credence to a logical argument by the APC that if in fact there are the names Mr. Koita is aware of names being left out. My problem is I think the government should, if names are in fact left out of the white paper that were mentioned in the commissions of inquiry reports, it may only be fair to explain to the public why these names were left out. Otherwise, there will be this lingering suspicion, even with the best of intention by the SLPP government, that the names were left out only to cover up. And you see, the reality is, it doesn't matter if SLPP has done all the right thing, but if the appearance of covering up exists, that will be the impression. So my suggestion would be, if the APC, if they get some logical, sensible reasonable criticism of the white paper, I think they should be listened to. That's my position. And I also think there will be a lot of noise about a lot of things that are not even worthy of being given the light of day. So it's a balancing act. So I think there is credibility on both sides. Mr. Koita get a point if names are mentioned and are left out. I don't know how he knows, but he says he knows, and he knows names. So I think the challenge is, who are these people that Mr. Koita knows of, whose names were left out, without commingling the prior investigation or the investigation will go on before on APC part. That's the way I see it.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Emmanuel. Let me go to you with this one. Former President Kuruma pulled out in statement where the press release say he was targeted and the type of defaming name and the type of go after him for something we're not doing. We hear the lawyer then say, then get for go taken to the court.
I just see what they call.
So then they therefore go to the Court of Appeal for go fight the case, and then 90 days for go to the Court of Appeal. And I hear you audio with where you been talk on President Kuruma that President Kuruma is a narcissist, like it is all about himself, it's all about whatever and all that kind of thing. Can you explain to we what thing do you use that word there? Because he said he wants to go defend himself. He pull out the audio that he wants to defend himself. A press release that the lawyer they say they will take him to the next level. So what you come on, you are one of the voices out there, and speaking are one of the FLPG members. Explain to we why you not think say or you think say or on a point you say he's a narcissist. It's all about himself, and I don't put the law now. Why I'm for go answer to the law.
Well, Fadima, thanks again for giving me the opportunity. First of all, the descriptions the way they throw out at Kuruma were not descriptions that we created. Sam Sumana, whom he illegally fired. In fact, Kuruma, the first president in the history of this country who clearly violated the Constitution, like blatantly violated the Constitution. Even a 2-year-old knows that his firing of Sumana was in violation of the Constitution. I mean, how much worse can it get? That the principal individual charged with the responsibility of protecting and defending the Constitution in broad daylight violated the Constitution and hence the trust of the people. I mean, that is what we have in Kuruma. That is his credibility right there. And without Enrico and Bokwada people don't describe Kuruma as a narcissist. I mean, so then we come to this issue now of the ACC and even the Commission of Inquiry. The government has been very lenient. In fact, the government is pursuing more like civil recoveries on Kuruma. Everything Kuruma did. Let me just give you one specific citation. The deal with Andina Sierra Retail took a national company, a company where Sierra Leone the government began 55% shares in and 45% public shares. He decided, and by the way, the mineral industry, the extractive industry, is the major source of income over the years under Kuruma and many other governments. He decided to mortgage that process, sell that process, devalue them, completely undervalue by a factor of almost 2,000. Sell that company to ESF and Imbrada for something like 10 million, turned around and sold it for like $120 million, making, I mean, Sierra Leoneans listening to that, just that, which is a fraction of the criminal actions of Kuruma, are cringing that such a man exists in this country and is walking scot-free. I mean, these are facts. These are just the plain facts. Nobody can argue against these. If these are the charges this man is charged against, is charged with, and the government is simply saying, let us do some civil recovery, this guy should be jubilating. This guy should be licking the feet of the president and saying, you have been so kind to me, you've been so nice to me. Yet he's arrogant, claiming that he would not even be interviewed. Ms. Fadima, ought I continue even anymore? I mean, I think the argument is very clear about who Kuruma is and the crimes that he has committed against this country. Let's just face it.
Mr. Koita, that looks bad where Mr. Emmanuel don't put the case forward. It look bad in the sense that former president, with that Sierra Rutile company, they then sell and buy and sell, and then he make a whole bunch of profit.
Yeah.
And he said the government, they go recovery. We are fighting corruption. We are trying for gets back whoever, because this was the idea of, well, commissions of inquiry then be done the day, but people do not follow it most of the time. You know, they don't follow up on, you know, the findings and all that stuff. But now they don't find and say the Sierra Rutile, like Mr. Emmanuel say, you know, it's a Sierra Leonean business. It's a Sierra Leonean company. Why during that time they would be the seller and they not put her out to the public? Just like how we get a show the other time when they talk on the cable company, the Sierra Cable Company, where the Minister of Finance go to Parliament say they want for seller. Why don't they offer the Sierra Leoneans to buy shares so it can be we property in our country instead of giving it to foreigners and foreign investors? So go ahead, Mr. Koita. I will answer that one.
Well, point of correction first. You know, I want to tell people and say, I don't know the talk, I continue to talk, SLPP now deceive political party. Then we know the life and people promote the opposition, then continue for life. In the first place, go and check the history of Sierra Leone. It's not an own company. No, we have been having shares. Not so we own the company, know that the boss. If you understand the issue, if we can talk in the public, you know they took over for the most people where they say Obama, because of APC Salam, it was sold under the SFP regime led by former President Kaba. When I find out, the time President Kaba can be not in value because if they take an entity, if you look nice, you know, well, would they let and the get a certain time go take up. Coming to Lekwe, this people say they know the campaign say President Kumar violates the constitution by sacking a vice president. I want to tell you, say the violation of the constitution happened within 2 years. It don't ever happen in 60 years as alone under president. Contact with the government of Sierra Leone. Now, a violation of course, come. Una have don't condemn say former president, now it's vice president. Una can confirm, una agree with we say that the misaka. Let's go back to where they say President Nkrumah not do nothing. You know, but if you look at this level, we lost Salone before 2007. They will not Salone after 2007. You say nothing today, President Nkrumah when I put in. Everything was fraud. How you will look use yourself with your simple sense as somebody that's now you say it's internationally you need to know them. If you left by the roads, you can't by the left. This not to say that it just come up, you can't paint my ground. We know what tell you say President 100%. But I want to just tell people that if we are talking here, you are talking about my chairman and leader. So for be mindful of statement that they even give, because by calling him a criminal, using some obscene language against him, technically you are attacking my political party and attacking my personality. If we are discussing issues concerning the white paper, let's do it in a respectful manner, because rather I begin like throw some language again, like talk something against my leaders. It's not going to be nice. Now we do them in a respectful manner. Respect the person. If you not even respect as President Nkrumah, respect him as a former president of this country. Now we learn to give respect to leaders. In as much as if you say UPC is an allegation, but the SFP will not always convict people and even in trial in a court. All what happened at the inquiry is an allegation. There is no report that don't pull it to the Senate. Now this is the commission of inquiry. Say the president talk and say he ready for challenge the what they say and he has claim. Why can't we wait? Why you the kind of media and talks in the way you not get evidence about? Not to the APC. Sell that shares that Sierra Leone, that SLPP government under President Kaba. Go and find out. Because if you want to talk something, get a justification. They sell and they below. President Nkrumah can say no one would come. Then buy again the shares. Then later when they reach mature to then they sell them again. Check before you talk. The roots are not a Sierra Leone company. Now a private company that shares will get it's not owned by Sierra Leone. Of understanding in a day, but coming now, they can't castigate the president. They talk something there like he did nothing. You know how you wrote inside. You know how your road in day. You know how freedom in day. We know that in the right country. We get for praise people them start years. Then we condemn the and say no. You cannot sit down and say the whole government is up for 10 years and not do nothing. What you see the children only written. America says in the first place overtake Salone bigger than any other political party. Don't become dishonest to conscience. Just because the party is in power, even if they do good and no president. Meaning that's that party.
Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Koita. Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Mr. Shilon, about the shares, about the selling of the company, Mr. Koita don't make say not to Sierra Leone get Sierra Rutal, but we had shares. Yeah. And when the shares then they been the sell, we Sierra Leone own, it was at low cost. And then the opportunity was only given to a privileged few were able for buy them shares then they. And these are the things that we talk about in Sierra Leone. Yeah. And that we people them when they make decision for everybody, it's like the people of Sierra Leone, they don't ask our permission, our choice. They don't go to the people, what do you think? Because we have Sierra Leoneans that can buy part of those shares, of those companies, of those things, and we're able for develop Sierra Leone. So, I mean, like Mr. Koita rightfully say, no government's not there where they do all bad, good there where they do. And roads are very important. We know that. We know say roads are important, but then we need things that are sustainable. We're going to change the mind of the people. We're going to change the income of the people. We're going to change the economical income of the people. And a lot of times we are missing those things. And that is the thing why we Sierra Leoneans, we feel so loyal to party more than waiting and call. Because when one party come, it pull down in a power, then pull down it and clear all man, then puts the young people there. So outside and they eat, now they the loyalty day. Because if we went in a then country, they go work, we not all obligation to government. We're ready for go vote. I vote for Udage for speak on the issue it concern me. You know, so what do you say, sir, to that? You know, to the shares and all the stuff of the companies of shares, not only Sierra Leone, but in particular everything that belongs to Sierra Leone, because we hear into what Aki said, we don't hear he say, then they share people and they sell them to themselves and then they put themselves. You know, all those are government properties, are community properties that belong to the people of Sierra Leone. So go ahead, sir, please.
All right, here is my take. I listen to Mr. Ali and Mr. Koita. Here's the problem. Let me start with me. Let's assume what Mr. Koita say is correct. Now, I'm speaking strictly from the standpoint of a nationalist, not pro-APC, pro-SLPP. And I always like to restate me background. I have never been an SLPP member or supporter, even in my school days. Because I was politically matured very early as a teenager, so I was very active in Bo District as a student activist. I was one of the early ones who, out of pure ideology, who supported Sirifore as APC, Kashid Conte Nabo in the 60s as APC for the 1967 election, and Dr. Fona then went in kind of campaign. I joined the APC in my early years out of idealism and nothing else. My idealism with APC died when Shaka Stephen ended up killing those guys for no other reason that they were opposed to incorrupt practices the way they're going to. So for the young people who joined the party now, let's understand the history. Having said that, what did Mr. Koita just say? Let we assume, say, okay, now under Chijan Kaba, then sell the shares. Let's assume Senator Sierra Leone get not to they own the company. I think it's common that Sierra Leone they just own shares, but not to them primarily own the company. let's assume, say, the shares were undervalued. Let's assume, say, with the best of intention, the Ernest Koroma government decided that the whole deal should be redone. Let's take that as fact. But Mr. Koita, don't you think it was wrong for the president of the country to become a shareholder of the country? He should not have even bought one share. There should be ethics in government for preventing kind of a thing there. He should not have had one share, let alone for end up owning most of it. The other thing we have to be careful about, as we talk, people are not stupid. Even the most illiterate Sierra Leonean has a low degree of intelligence. And Sierra Leoneans, by reputation, are known for being very smart people. Now, American man get the saying, if it looks like a duck, walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it must be a duck. When you get a president who, before he came to power, everybody knew it. He ran an insurance company that was on borderline financially. He had a one-story house. This is a man who didn't have much of an asset. This is a common sense thing. Okay? For him, after 11 years, end up being a multimillionaire, and people think there's nothing wrong with that. Come on, give me a break. These practices have to stop. You know, we can, I don't care which party you belong to. Ms. Fadima just cited a similar example about shares being sold in secrecy. Well, the SLPP government, Ms. Fadima just referred that, about to do the same thing about the cable thing. The cabinet meets. I don't know why these guys don't learn. The cabinet meets, then they decide, say, them for sell the shares, and they're not announced to the public. They can't do that. Now, the SLPP government, all due respect, in law, we have a saying, he who seeks equity must do equity, and must do so with clean hands. I will plead with the SLPP government, and I am all in favor of them. And I agree with Mr. Ali in terms of the civility with which the SLPP government is handling this outcome of the commissions of inquiry. I think we'll forgive ourselves tremendous credence in terms of what level of development. I think we've taken democracy to a certain height that will tap ourselves on the back. So the manner in which the whole thing is being handled, I think we'll forgive ourselves some credence. But I will hope SLPP government too will not begin to practice the same thing when they condemn of the APC. Stop selling these government partially owned or wholly owned properties to them in secrecy. Put it out there for the public because it is in the best interest of the country. All of us, or most of us, or some of us will buy shares. What's wrong if we own the businesses back home? What is all this secrecy? And the only reason behind the secrecy is a matter of common sense. Because when they don't get foreigners them involved, then they get kickbacks, and very little is known. So really, this corruption business is not an easy thing. But let we all deal with them with the best of intention. Lastly, Mr. Koita seemed a little upset because he said Mr. Ali is being disrespectful to the former president. Well, let me tell you something. These are some of the prizes we get for a democracy. I think it goes right into one's freedom of speech. I agree. The fact that someone is not in power anymore doesn't mean he should be disrespected. But by the same token, I think everybody should have the freedom to call people in which you want to call them, Lyman, Tiffman, whatever. So these are all the things that I get for say at this point.
Thank you.
Ms. Fadima Emmanuel.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Yeah, well, let me clarify some points there. So, some points that Mr. Koita make not so true. One, again, I'm in the business of teaching. I teach finance and economics. When you say Sierra Leone owns shares own the company, that is the biggest contradiction you can make in the definition of a share. A share is an ownership in a company. That is number one. So we owned it. The question is, what percentage of the company did we own? Number two, if you own more than 25% of a company, you own a controlling stake in it. The fact of the matter is we owned about 45% of the company at the time. That's a very significant share for one party compared to other shareholders there. That is number two. So now we'll get that clear. Number three, Sierra Rutile was sold by Koroma. I don't even know where the Kaba thing is coming from. It was sold to Iluka Minerals. I mean, I don't even know why Mr. Koita bring that. That is so misleading. Let me not even go there. And you should be checking. You should be calling him on that, Fadima, because it's not true. Everybody knows the story. That was number three. Number four, he said the commission of inquiry, allegations. That is not true. That's another point you should have checked him on.
Yeah.
The commission of inquiry was instituted by a statute of parliament which gave the commissioners the power of any jurisdiction of any legal institution in our country. The commission of inquiry was a court. It was a court that investigated the actions of Koroma, who called Koroma and many witnesses. Witnesses were called to testify. These were not allegations. This was a court. The commission was a legally constituted legal institution. Let me know, again, no disrespect to Mr. Koita, but his facts are way off. His understanding of the facts here, either it's deliberately putting it out there or he doesn't understand it. All the points I have made here, the commission of inquiry was a legally constituted court authorized by the parliament. The fourth point I want to make, which I think is also misleading, is on the process of privatizing these companies. All of these things have been legally and openly done. Let me take, for example, the state lottery right now. State lottery now, a company where they make no money for the government. Through the National Privatization Agency, they go out to look for investors who would partner with these companies. We're not trying, then the government is not going to sell.
I get a question on that, Mr. Ali. I get a question on going out looking for investors.
Yeah.
There are Sierra Leoneans with money. Why can't we reach out the administration after administration? I know say President Omar Duam in the first office, first term, that calling the diaspora to come back, because Ghana they gain from that. Why can't we bring our people back that have money, they have work? Some of them put on a bank, then they wait for waiting, then go do with them. We don't hear. Why can't we put a pool of Sierra Leoneans together, working by two, then shares and then? Why we always gotta go to foreigners? Why we have? Do we?
I can answer.
Why? And that is where the corruption comes in, because there's no accountability. With the people of Sierra Leone, there will be accountability, because Commissioner Kalfala, I don't sit now, I don't say, there is no sacred cow. And at the second one where it talks, say, they don't want to play against the fire brigade. Then they opt corruption as then they go along. Any side where they say corruption, they they will go there to find corruption. So
I get your point. Let me answer the question. Let me answer the question. There's a difference between a venture capitalist and somebody who simply get money in a bank. Just because somebody gets a few $1,000s in a bank does not mean they are an investor.
They are millionaires.
Let me finish. Yes, but the problem is, when you're asking somebody for pick up a government, say for example Sierra Tel, if the government try to privatize Sierra Tel, and by what I mean by privatize, sell shares of Sierra Tel, if the government currently has 100% shares of the company, they want to dispense of, say 50% of that shares in the. You can't just call people, say, hey, go bring you money. Not everybody is a venture capitalist. The process of looking for investors, we want to take the risk. You have a special character of people. You have a special component of business-minded people who have taken money from lots of people that we get expendable income, where they want for put into this business, where even go factor the risk in them, we're willing for lose that money. The average Sierra Leonean, not to the person where they go take in $50,000, they go put up a business where maybe go recover profit 20 years later. I mean, that is a little misleading. So say we're not asking Sierra Leoneans, we're not looking at the cooperative.
Why I say this, because if Sierra Leoneans get the money, they spend it in Sierra Leone. But if foreigners get their money, all those foreigners that have come and exploited us, it is the politicians that have gained from it. The people, there is nothing that can show what these people gave back. Okay? They leave a breadcrumb and the politicians share it to themselves. They did not develop. The communities that they're exploiting. None of that stuff is doing any good for the people of the country. This is why we say, why can't we try something new? Why we always have to run to foreigners? Mr. Koita, let me bring you into the Sierra Rutal thing. Then we go left down there, we go to the other side and we go to the other anti-corruption business. Because Mr. Emmanuel don't talk say that is not true that President Kabano in shares. And it also make a point there, even if you get shares, as long as you get a percentage of shares, you have ownership. So it was ownership to Sierra Leone, even not to get all the shares, but they had ownership because they had some shares. And so then he said former President Koma has sold the shares for higher cost and higher profit, and the Sierra Leone not benefit from that. That is what the stuff is here. But let us give you a chance to respond quick if you get anything for say. Then we will go to the next topic. Mr. Shilon, I know you still get a small thing for say. Then we will go to the next slide.
In the first place, I not be able to get everything with them where you talk because when they get some network break. But based on what you talk, so evidence for saying Sierra Leone has no benefit. You know, our law try to justify. What think people can think say benefit? Government will take money, he put in a pocket, say we don't sell these shares for put in a pocket, no? Or don't sell these shares with the shape money, no? But the government take that shares sometime, then get to where they don't begin, where they need for put and for end up, or then get hospital for build them, put and be. That's for Sierra Leone as a benefit. But if, you know, if we talk low, the relative time, the couple talk about benefits, then the way can shape the money, sell it in, you shape the money to pull up, that pull up. You sell that shares, but put that for education, different people use that. No one like talks to you justify. Because if you say no, then I made a tell about the shares with President Roma can buy and sell, that shares with SLV sell under President Kabala, you go find out. I can tell you with an authority. And they just talk anything I talk, I get an evidence, I get fact for them before I talk them. You know, like I know you will get most of it in them, but like when they say, no, I'm not taking him any misleading statement, rather me there at the ground. I'm not going in and out. I'm not ever go 11 the way you work 11 years before the war. Where election done, and me I go down to the grassroots. I know just talk because of an APC. No, I can repeat and what time I can say we all want less Salone before because Salone big pass APC, big pass LPP, a big pass me too. If it's Salone sweet today. Not for me and you no more, that for picking them with our generation yet unborn. We always support some way they are against corruption. But no do some way they divide the nation. No kind of public because one talking public for defending political party, like how some of them they just attack, they are blind to the truth, they are deaf to the truth. When they want to talk, they can just talk the lie what they take from opposition, kind of governance, they want to justify that with the and you cannot justify. No, it's out the country on TV.
Okay.
That's what we do if I come and tell. They sell the local houses in them. They sell them for this. Nobody make ritual to them. So we have an evidence of saying some things.
But Mr. Koita, Comrade Koita, I'll ask a question because the thought kind of made people when they talking at the social media say, well, the same way president, former president, will be president, the term for your administration, because of peace, pursue certain people them way commit things that are against the government by these commissions of inquiry and findings of the ICC report and all that stuff. Then they go after people then. But was that the right thing to do? Because people keep saying because of peace, because of peace, because of peace. And the right thing for do was he had the opportunity for go after the people then, but he did not. Some people were persecuted only a little bit, but not get go after the people then because of peace. Why not? Why not for go after the people then? Do it the right way and go do it fair and just and to according to the constitution. But people must be persecuted if they don't take from the state and from the people. You know. So what do you guys for say with that one now? What are your thoughts on that day? Because people and they make the social media say, well, what we been get, we not do but he had the opportunity. Now this sitting president say, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. But the thing what we they call on them say, when you do it with the right way for let it be fair to everybody. Because we are all in it together. We stand for fighting corruption, because corruption has made our country, because I was born in the 60s, 1963 to be exact. But when we born, the time that we meet the remnants of waiting the people that been left. We had a good life. We lived like we've been there overseas. We lived good life. Even the poor people had what they eat. Things were there, accessible. There were companies, there were businesses, there were jobs, there were trade centers. People in the land trade, then they do this, then they do that. But all those things kind of fade away. The time them coming from the late 70s to the 80s to the till now. It's like the country is go down in the ruins. Then with the war, just set we more apart. But the war don't done long term. We get for recover from the law. We get for put things in place, guardrails for stop this corruption, because we know corruption in our country. We know that. And we all want for because we want better life for everybody and better things them. And let we all go sit down back in a salon. So what do you say to that, sir? Or what do you get for that?
Oh, me, Mr. Sheldon?
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah. Well, my point now is,
well, in the first place, the president didn't get immune.
Okay, Mr. Koita. I think I mean, but just give me. Just give me.
I mean, ask, but are you the responsible?
Yeah, go ahead, sir.
Okay,
yeah, go ahead.
All right. The point here is, I think we all on the panel have some ideas, but what in me they suggest. Okay, for instance, Mr. Ali say, I think Mr. Ali will agree as somebody in the economics field for say, we may not try to implement the practices of venture capitalists or capitalism the way it is done out here. Because give the opportunity to Australians, let them say, at least let the money say they'll come up. Because the only way Australians are going to end up owning most of these things is by them being given an opportunity, and they should not be done in secrecy. I think the Australians, these are things that should be announced to the public, you know. And the other thing, where I agree with Mr. Ali. Mr. Ali say one thing which I have to correct as a lawyer, where he's saying, Mr. Koita saying allegations on the commissions of inquiry. No, they are not, because they have been findings of fact. So they have gone beyond allegations, you know. But going back, I think we should establish an ethics in government office, meaning president, ministers, members of parliament, people in government offices, they have serious conflict of interest if the companies then wouldn't they regulate, they are allowed to buy shares in them. That should not happen. The president, in cabinet, in permanent secretaries, should not be buying shares. this thing about just the cabinet meeting and making a decision to sell government stakes in certain offices, I think that has to be looked into and redone, because it doesn't sound fair that a handful of people, because if we are really trying to fight hard to do away with corruption, because all the secrecies just lead to corruption. So my suggestion is simply, we have to come up with some creative ways. And the other thing I want to say, we don't have to look far. There are many African governments we can take examples from now. Tanzania, Kenya, Rwanda, Ghana. I mean, we get countries then where they try to introduce certain structural changes for make sure, say, the country benefits. But it is unfair for Sierra Leonean share to be sold and Sierra rutile. Then you get a handful of people who ended up with the benefit. That should be, it should not happen. It shouldn't happen, period. So this thing about finger pointing, SLPP, they say, well, we don't give you a chance. APC, they say, well, no. I think these are minor stuff compared to the kind of wealth that people are building within a very short time, most of which are government property.
Mr. Kocha, then I will go to the next topic, please. Go ahead, get your chance to respond, please.
Yes, let me just respond to a few things then. I just want to start for, I respond.
Okay.
I want to tell Mr. Shilo, a lawyer is a professional man in field, but I want to tell her, the law say everybody is presumed to not to court where they convict somebody if they make a recommendation. So I stand to say it's an allegation up to this time, because they've never been, they're not investigated, they're not find them guilty yet. Secondly, you say where APC win, they may get chance to investigate. I want to let you say former President Kumatik from Tijakaba that will just end the war. Like, will not be get total peace. So if you say they begin target certain people from certain areas, or they will take a tribal, take a regional, look at which one team, it will be just end war, one total peace. So you look at in your wisdom, the president say, well, for the sake of peace, let not just something, we go crop up all that thing, and listen on which one to all that thing. Then he decided for left and target in your agenda. We been count again, your agenda from there. I will continue with your agenda. Because one for peace, we all see that then later part who don't get peace for over 15 years. We'll see if they invite anyone from the people them, say can't court of police, or all what's in the street. At that time, you know, timely. I can tell you, just after what 2002 in 2007, the war is still there around them. They part rehabilitation, infrastructure, that things that people will still get that mind, that war mindset. So at that time, it feels safe in wisdom. If you been done, it's fine. But I think in wisdom, it's a no lie. This is just
okay. So Mr. Koita, you were in the
where they not problem.
Yeah. Mr. Koita, you been in the army.
Yesterday, if I can't trust people, if they go most react, and that's they just come for more. Either I will say you're right. So for let him not arrest somebody.
Go ahead, please. Go ahead. Finish.
Ask the question again.
I say I want to ask you a question. You did talk on this war, and people were still in the mindset of war. And people, do you think as Sierra Leoneans we don't heal from that war day? Because since you're there on the ground and you were a soldier, once wore the uniform of the Republic of Sierra Leone, and I honor you, I salute you. Thanks for your service. But I mean, you don't wear a war. I want to show a picture of one of we soldier mandem. Because when we talk of the war, I once saw a picture, a video of one of Soldier Mandem make a statement. He wear in combat uniform, fully armed, loaded, lock and loaded, and he make a statement. Do you think Sierra Leone has healed from this war? Have we gotten better? We don't get better, or we still get the PTSD, the post-traumatic stress disorder from the trauma that we don't endure? And this trauma, these young boys, when they're during the war, have become men, they have become grown men. And do you think Sierra Leone get for heal? What do you think do you think we have healed from the war? You think so we don't heal? Because it's getting ugly. I guess we get connection problem. We get connection problem. But Mr. Shilon, we can if we come back, let we begin talk on the okay. You don't come back yet. Okay, let we begin talk on the we get connection problem. The two gentlemen then are free tongue, so we appreciate them. It's late at night.
No, I don't think so. Not heal it. If you check now, people the way they may not fit yesterday out, then don't become.
Oh, we miss some. Technically, if you get that soldier man, go to play and first say Mr. Koitaka, because I saw this and I just want to get a take on, since Mr. Koitaka, an armed force man guy, what do you think on that survey?
Okay, go.
The return of Hungry Lion, Toke Binde out of control. Toke Binde out of control, me commander Sidon and dream and fit say, now Hungry Lion for go there and put them under control. And I don't go Toke, I don't put Toke there under control. I believe say they don't begin take the order of the government. Yeah, because they're not been use face mark, they're not been avoid the overload. But from where I go there, put the Toke under control. The picking there under age not for sale. For now, I don't carry inside back. Yeah, we don't start state house now. For any amalgaments around the peninsula, I can go there back. I go warm up there, carry inside. Now I don't carry state house. For any amalgaments, for anybody where you name them on the white paper, if I can't give account. Yeah. If you say you know the give account, you know the camp, you don't match the lion tail. And if you match the lion tail, oh man, I go rough you. Bad one. Hungry Lion representing the corner people under the new direction. Back to State House.
Mr. Emmanuel, because I think we don't lost, we have Mr. Emmanuel on there too. I think we don't lost Mr. Koita first. Mr. Emmanuel, what you?
Yes, I did on.
Yeah, I mean, you see, because we bring the war stuff. That's why I brought this soldier, in case can't off. That's a soldier wearing the uniform, and soldier for be separate. The law of the soldier, the regulations, for be inside politics. But that's a soldier, well armed and ready, combat ready. And you definitely soldier, so you know about that. Okay. So what do you take on that day? Does that put a healthy picture out there?
Well, I mean, I guess the first thing I could say is I don't know if I can authenticate whether in fact he's a soldier of the Republic of Sierra Leone or not. I don't know that. It just didn't. He's a soldier. Then that was completely out of order, and I believe almost every military is governed by the Uniform Code of Military Justice. I cannot imagine how that could have been an appropriate behavior. So I'm not worried about that. We can make two assumptions. We don't know. If in fact now soldier, then I believe he'll be court-martialed. I believe that. There's no question in my mind that such an action is punishable under the UCMJ. But if in fact not a soldier, then I don't know what to tell you. But honestly, there are always bad apples, no matter which institution they look at. So for me, I saw that video. I didn't make much of it. Again, I think so. Then go handle and well.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Because that is very troubling. Because when you talk about the war, that's why I brought up that soldier. Because I mean, it's an inappropriate behavior and it's unacceptable for combat. Because we know, first of all, say free tongue, they wear combat uniform if you're not in a police. They don't put a law. They don't make a law say nobody they even t-shirt if you wear a we get camouflage, then they allow you for wear that. But yeah, let's go to the Ben Kelfala. Mr. Comrade Koita, are you back on, sir? Comrade Koita.
Fadima, I have to leave in a little bit. It's beginning to rain here. It's beginning to rain here.
Well, you can be in your car and be on the phone.
On the outdoors.
Mr. Emmanuel, thank you so much, but you can be on your phone. Don't hang up. You can be on the audio. And if you get connection, you can be on the audio.
Okay, I go try it. I'll just let's
okay.
See. So if I hang on, I'll come back. If I hang up, I'll come back.
Okay. So we go to the ACC. We go to the ACC. Let me play a quick audio video when they do an interview with the ACC boss where they're talking reason why they go after the former president. Let me put that video there quick. Let me watch out.
So the issue for do with sales of the Sierra Root tile. Where you go inside the government white paper, paragraph 18, we talk about the Sierra Root tile. They talk about secrecy and shady dealings where they happen during the sales. And safe paragraph B, 18B, they talk about the issues them and how illegal it be happen and name certain people where the first person, the first time president, and it's by Koma. It mentioned Dr. Samura Kamara and John Bono Sisi. Where una the review according to your words they say una the review back some of the investigation there. Una they investigate all them 3 people there, so or una they do it individually.
We'd already investigate. We already get conclusions there. And I can tell you for a fact
so how
that the Sierra Root tile deal was very shady. It was done without following proper processes. It was done without respect for the tax laws of Sierra Leone. For example, when they decide to reach the tax, the $8 million tax we then pay, I can tell you for a fact the Sierra Root tile be responsible for pay tax over $100 million. So how they reach the conclusion for say Sierra Root tile should pay $8 million was completely shady, was irresponsible, was careless.
So quickly,
and as I can speak with you, all the authorities that were involved in that issue don't confirm that themselves. Some of them talk and say they could not understand. They confirm say yes, the decision on the taxing was done like a rule of thumb. So, like you can just sit down and talk, say, okay, you for pay 150 million, well the country had up right now, give me 8 million.
So if we don't do
then a remand arrangement that one day. Mr. And these are the kinds of things that we have to avoid as a country.
So if we don't do these investigations, we already get on a conclusion according to you, we wait for the recommendations from the COI, and you self confirm some of the same things they within at the government white paper, or they talk about shady dealings them and some secrecy will be happen in the transaction them. Is it that on a conclusion on a get and the COI being kind of similar or on a being compare notes at some point?
No. We not ever get. I not ever get contact with the judges of the COI. They not ever get contact with me. Definitely will not get no relationship whatsoever.
So why you keep
we are the ACC. In fact, even when they set up the committee for look into the white paper report, I decided to say I'm not to get involved at all. I was totally removed from the process.
So why
we are the ACC mindful? We're mindful of our independence, and we want to make sure say we keep that independence because we are the gatekeepers for the fight against corruption.
So why you hold on the report until the COI report come out? If the report's been come out otherwise, say you know name then 3 people there so in the commission.
Because now the principle of complementarity.
So if the commission the report will come out, then 3 people there then name not the inside the report, you for be go ahead and publish.
Oh yes, they come out and say there is an aspect we will not look into. Look up. I am telling you. In fact, the COI not even deal with the tax aspect of the Sierra Root deal. Now we deal with them.
No,
so you see how we complement ourselves. They left out the tax aspect. They looked at more whether the shares were properly valued, whether they were carefully valued, whether the right rates were paid, and all these things. We zoomed in on the tax aspect which they were blindsided on, and we are now coming in to say, hey, here is another aspect of this investigation. And I can tell you for fact, everybody were involved in that decision making. Don't sit down with we and admit to the fact say the tax was irresponsibly decided.
The ACC now
when I don't listen that day, I think Comrade Coach, I don't come back on. We don't lost Mr. Emmanuel Force. He's saying they come, so they get for go take shade outside the day. We don't see the commissioner in statement where he make it saying they go after taxes because the taxes the way they pay be on that. Is this commissioner too ambitious for that step the way it take right now, or because with all the chaos going on in McKinney, is this commissioner responsible for all this coming out with a separate investigation? Is that too ambitious for this young man? Is it ambition that overruled him or take over him and say, I get for go do this now and why now? Or go after a separate one where they not deal with the one where they get on the ground yet. I think Comrade Koita don't come in. Comrade Koita, are you in with us now? We see him, but we're not here yet. Mr. Shilon, sir, as a lawyer, they don't give the white paper don't come on, and the former president have 90 days for go an appeals court.
Yeah, I'm trying to come.
Okay, Communicator is on now. Okay, you see, the question I asked, I don't know if you hear me. We don't listen to Commissioner Benkel Fala what he talk. He talk say then they go after the taxes, then they go after former president because of the taxes we pay in an independent, not be mixed inside it. But now all of a sudden it come out say, is it too ambitious? Is it now, and is he responsible for the chaos where they happen right now in McKinney, among the people of McKinney right now? Are you seeing? We're getting problem. Mr. Koita, Comrade Koita, are you there? Okay, he don't come back. Thank God. Yeah. You been there. What you with the talk? Yeah. I say you been there. What you with the talk? You been there. I say we don't show. First of all, before you go out, I ask about.
I guess a little bit problem with me. Network. I don't switch the Wi-Fi off.
Okay. Mr. Technical team, we can give him a number for call on WhatsApp so he go there on audio with us. Your number or something. Okay. Another Yagiwi. I don't think it is. Well, Mr. Shilon, you can go ahead and give your take while we wait on for join.
Yeah, I don't think say Mr. Kalfala is being overly ambitious. I think he pursued the right cause, are consistent with job description. And remember, he also say, waiting then do in terms of the commissions of inquiry that the commissioner put out. In the Mr. Kalfala, in your ACC report is complementary to the commissions. Now, so I tend to agree with him because the tax aspect where they talk that they grossly undervalue the amount of taxes that Sierra Ruta owed. But for purposes of Mr. Kuromadem, for be able for own the property, Commissioner Kafara say Sierra Ruta owed over $100 million in taxes, or were due to pay that. But when the former president and group and Mr. Samura and others took over, then decide for grossly undervalue the tax liability of the company. In addition to that, they also end up owning most, if not all, of the shares of the company. So I think Mr. Kafara will be derelict in duties if he not pursue the areas then where the commissioner pursue. I think he should pursue that. If we're going to end corruption, if they're going to fight corruption with any degree of vigor, I believe strongly that people should be made known that the ACC commissioner will leave no stone unturned, unless they do that, because this is like what the American man can call whack-a-mole. I mean, you try to block corruption here, corruption pop up somewhere. You try to block corruption the other way, it pop up somewhere. Because to some of them politicians here, it's like a game. But like I say, there are African countries now that are on the right course. We can talk to them, we can follow them. Countries like Tanzania, countries like Ghana. I mean, even small Gambia that is just so close to us, they even are setting a much brighter example for we before this new civilian government wouldn't get. But even when they get a dictator, they were doing very well in terms of how to run the country. So my thing is, I don't think Mr. Kafala, in fact, I don't think he's doing enough. I think he need more staffing, he need more investigators, he need more prosecutors, he need more of everything. The last time we appeared at our show, he talked about how he was being underfunded, that he was not getting everything he was asking for. Well, if the government is serious about fighting corruption, not only should they fully fund the ACC, but the ACC should even have supplemental budget just in case they get cost overrun. That supplemental budget will kick in because the ACC has become major part and parcel. The other thing I would recommend is the Auditor General in office. I think it too need more power, more staffing, more everything, because I cannot see how the ACC could be effective if the Auditor General, who also is an investigator, and or the office and investigative body, if they have not be given enough financial wherewithal to be able for pursuing things. So my thing is, there is a lot to be done, but the ACC, I think, is on the right course. I just think, these people should be brought to whatever power the ACC has, whether it's to trial or whatever, they should be doing it, no drag on a feet for years or weeks or months. People should know if the ACC, if you kind of the crosshair of the ACC will go ahead and indict you. And one last thing I want to suggest, but Mr. Ali go, so I really would have liked to bring this up. Jessica, bring the thing up on about APC. The last time Ms. Fadima will play the video of the woman where they accused the current finance minister of corruption, that in WEF they bring in
containers.
She even mentioned as much as 6 containers duty-free. Well, to me, the ACC, if they read that, that's what the investigators are about. That woman should be summoned to come in. If they are serious about fighting corruption, you don't wait until SFPP not in a power for begin to look back. It's a waste of time. Now there is somebody live who is saying this minister who holds a position right now is corrupt. And here is how he's doing it. The ACC should step in. And I think we for wish that, whether on the APC or SFPP, I mean, disappointment also, maybe we need to start bringing in some, how you call Yom Kela in Yom Party?
NGC.
Maybe we need NGC spokesperson, because with all this going on, we almost don't hear anything about NGC. We don't know what's in their position by all this. We don't know what's in their position by the white paper. They've just been, as far as I know, they've been very silent. Well, how are they going to be a major political party if they want to be an alternative to APC or SFPP? You people that know me on position, left with me, neither one of these two parties should even run the country. But we'll take what we have. So if one of them to run the other one, we for try for read the corrupt older guys and the other both parties, and so we can get a new breed of politicians. Then we will do right. We will get some national foresight for make sure the country move in the right direction. Talk is cheap. New direction, right direction, all and they sound good. But we're not seeing any movement in the in a new direction or sound direction. We'll see movement in a direction, all right, but in a backward direction, That's my take.
Thank you. Mr. Koita, Comrade Koita, you there, sir? I think we don't lose her again. Another see him out now. Okay, we don't talk on the Ben Kelfala in ambition. So now we talk on the McKinney issue. We see then go interview on Thursday. But before Thursday, we see the bikers of McKinney, the young people of McKinney, then come out and say, Onanogo can take we leader. What message are the people sending to we out here? Which message will they get for the people and say, we cannot let them take our leader. We cannot allow them for come and disrespect we leader when they say that they can't interview. Mr. Koita, you're back, sir, Comrade Koita. Explain to we, because active member of the APC party, and we see that they can interview the former president, and the SEC said that they come, and we don't see the audio when the commissioner say then they come for ask question on the taxes, because in not a deal with waiting the commissions of inquiry deal in the deal with a separate issue. That's not the taxes they in they go after, say they underpay taxes. And then because of that, the people say, no, you cannot come disrespect our leader. They come out in numbers and come out there and try for, stop the thing. But later on, I think the interview will go on or something like that. Yeah, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, sir. So I want to let you talk on that day. What are you take and how the people in the field, why the people then come out there? Because then say with the Fed's corruption, but yet they say when I want disrespect with leader, and then the C say it is not fair how they do what and they do, how they go about doing it. It is not right. So with the team up, we not go agree to this one, so not disrespect and all that. And then also, you've been talking on the war. You've been talking on the war. I don't know if you want to finish that. Why they ask if we don't heal, if Sierra Leoneans have really healed, because we see a lot of unrest, we see soldier them, they involved in politics, and we play that soldier in tape we come on where they talk on how they go do this, they go do that, they go do that, and that is not the role of our soldiers. Our soldiers are to defend the borders of Sierra Leone, and anything that thing. Let we yeah, you what you there for say. I think he's going in and out. We don't lose him back again. Okay.
I can comment.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, please.
Well, with respect to the soldier, I tend to agree with Mr. Ali. I don't want to believe it's genuine simply because, but it's dangerous for allow somebody for dressed in military fatigue, kind of the public, and then armed and talking about changes come out, not okay, interested. You see, it make an individual. So that's what makes me think the guy is a little bit off. It sounds like somebody with a loose screw, because he say, I double settle things here and this and that. Then the other thing we make, I think, say it cannot be that genuine, but anybody can pose or post video. That way he talk about the Kono aspect and the new direction and this kind of a thing. So that doesn't seem like he's even talking for a group. I think he just wants for bringing himself up. So I wouldn't take him that serious, but it's good for the government. That's what the CID and the police, this is what we keep telling them. Running a government is not easy. So this guy comes out there, there's video going out there. Don't wait until they cause any harm or any havoc. By now, the CID should be on his case. They should investigate to know who he is, what part of the country is coming from. But it's clear to me he is not acting in a responsible manner, and it not even seem genuine. So I don't feel he poses a threat to the community, but for even allow those kind of people. So I don't think.
Mr. Shillan, you see, Mr. Koita, go ahead, sir. We talk on the soldier issue. I know say you be make an audio where you say the people them say they don't put people there into the army where they get combat uniform, and Mr. Shillan, just don't make a comment say nothing that person then are genuine for just wear a combat uniform out there, loaded M16 and coming out there and making such statements. Can we give him a number to call? So
maybe we lost him again.
Yeah.
But if in fact it's true to any degree that for the purpose of politics, or or political equation or calculation, then go give arm or then go infiltrate. That would be highly, highly irresponsible on the part of the government. Because why would you infiltrate your army with maybe unwanted elements? I mean, where do they think they are getting? Because if you do that, it will be counterproductive. So it seems to me, I hope that is not true, but if it is true, that would be highly irresponsible on the part of the government, because this is what leads to civil war, tribal war.
That is where I'm getting to.
Because when we try not for you...
This kind of thing is disturbing for a fully armed combat soldier.
That should not happen.
16, get a magazine in there, in a thing, chamber lock load, ready to roll, and then he make a statement like that, and we know no disciplinary action. And Comrade Koita, since he have been soldier man, he make an audio that I listen to, and he say he know every soldier to 2000 from 1970 something way join or whatever it is, to 2018. And so it is see people in the wear combat uniform, and all soldiers are coming back, retired soldiers are coming back in. That is why I wanted to ask him that question, but since we doesn't let that, that's why I keep asking technical team, can you give me a number so I could send it to him so he can call us, so we were able to keep him on instead of going on and off on the internet. So they get problem with the internet, you know. So the phone lines are open with people. Then let we join the discussion. And let we talk on the issues. So we see the people then come out now. McKinney, continue your thoughts. You were okay
on the McKinney issue.
Mm-hmm.
This is very interesting. I think the ex-president owes a duty to himself, to empathy, and above all to the country. And of course, the town of McKinney and the chiefdom, to minimize or try for do away with any appearance that people are being violent. The trouble is, we remember the last time the electrical, I think, generator or whatever lead to people being killed, which I think was highly irresponsible on the part of the government. Nobody should have lost their lives as a result of that. Because we then get for realize say people have the right to demonstrate. So I like the fact that the ACC, well, actually I have to give some credit to Mr. Kuruma and lawyers them, because I listened to the video that was put out, I believe, by Mr. Kamara,
mm-hmm.
one of the lawyers. We make a talk, and as former President Kuruma talk
to the police
with the Inspector General, trying to work out some modalities as to how the interview can be conducted.
Yeah.
The thing is, it would have been nice for Yeri, the IG, with a distinct plan as to how he intends to pursue it. Instead, what I heard was what former President Kuruma proposed, that then go follow in your guidelines.
Yeah. Let me take a phone call quick, sir. Let me take some phone calls quick.
Okay.
And then we will come back to that talk there, because we get an audio where we go play, let the people that you give for themselves, so they go understand who side they come out from. Caller, good evening, name please, and who side they call from. Hello, caller, good evening. What's your name and who side they call me from?
Yeah, I get. I don't know if they get me. Good evening.
Yes, good evening, sir. Good evening. Go ahead, please.
Okay. Now, something I want to ask no more. I want to ask Mr. Aliu, because if I don't forget, Mr. Aliu on record for defense the commissioner of carry not to record now, or now now an inquiry into what made happen the past government. But now Mr. Ali tell we say again the commission of inquiry na a court. So Abuambe let clarify that side for we. Let we understand. Then one thing we the talk, we all day for the fight against corruption, but I think see the government will improve on the way they communicate and sensitize the people, let me know, so that we not go see the incident we happen again in Makeni or any other part of that country when such thing can happen. So thank you very much. I'm your question and you have been just asked.
Oh, thank you. But for so unfortunately, Mr. Emmanuel, because now Freetong is there right now and Amoyambai been there, so in connection, say any they come, so you get to go inside, and then he say if he able to connect, he go connect back. But if he connects, I will throw your question to him. Thank you.
Okay so then. Okay then.
Thank you. Thank you. Sorry. Let we play that video. That audio with President, the former President, Anas Michael. Yes, good evening, caller. Name, please, and who you call from?
How they do?
I'm doing fine, thank you. Yes, go ahead, please.
Nah, this talk people when they talk right now about this corruption business where they go in our country.
WhatsApp number so you can call in, okay? Okay. Yeah.
Hello?
Okay.
The caller is a little thrown off. Remember saying you to talk to.
Yeah. Lag on?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. The corruption when they talk about the country, because I don't see the thing where they happen at the country, I don't think they're ready for fight for corruption at the country. If they're ready for fight corruption at the country, they're not going to pick people and then left some. Then the number one thing, something don't happen. When a union stops them, when it be say, that thing then they, if the commissioner for be oppressed by anything then they not for being go above, that's then they anything if for be say, people if for be agree to that, say yes, it is doing work. But Kuba could thing then don't happen in that country there. Say tomorrow, we'll not go see nothing. They can just pick few people and say, so now they pandu, so now they pandu. But every time, we'll not see nothing. We'll not see nothing. Because this, I think, say now so eager for go back. If then they try for fight corruption, may they fair time, then they know the way how for fight the corruption. But most of the time, more than they talk, they compare about America. And they compare about this, but Salone they like America. Like Korean days, so now the first corruption that already happened right now, then we will fetch them. Then the old one them, it go easy for them. But if they left something that already happened, then you time, the neighbor fetch them. I don't think they will fetch corruption when another person in your time, because they don't know they what they plan, what they not in paperwork, what they don't do. They don't know what not the receipt what they don't get. When you see the people and tell us, then they appeal. They know side and match. But if them for don't do, what if it don't happen? This then do them. Then they for be a bank kaifala. For bank kaifala from we start, I don't think say you win case when about corruption as Sierra Leone. Now this may get for now today.
Thank you so much, my sister. Thank you. Mr. Koita, Comrade Koita, don't come back on. Mr. Koita, Comrade Koita, you hear me, sir? I sent you. Yes. Go ahead, please. And if you're not able, if you keep disconnecting, I don't send you a number. Okay, go ahead, please. Okay, yeah, go ahead. You don't hear me. What we've been talk about, but first, as a soldier. We've been talking on the soldier issue, the mental state of Sierra Leoneans. And then we see a video of a soldier, combat ready, fully loaded M16, come out there and made a statement. And I know say you make an audio of people that then they give combat uniform and they for wear, and Mr. Shillon and Mr. Emmanuel talk say they not believe in a real soldier than in a real Sierra Leone soldier. Something is not right. So what do you take? And then also we talk on the video about Mr. Kelfala, where he say in they go after the former president for the taxes where they not pay, where they owe to the government. So go ahead and I'll give you the floor for make you give me your own take on that. Okay, I think he's having a problem connecting. Yep. Yep. I sent you a number if you can hear me. I sent you a number. If you can hear me, take that number. They call the number, then we'll put you through.
In the first place, I can categorically say, yeah, they get yes.
Yeah.
If you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
And what's up? Okay, let me just save them.
Yeah, save them if you if you get any problem, you can just call that number.
In the first place, I want to tell people, let's see, I want to tell the leaders.
We get problem. We really get problem today with connection from Freetown connection. I think it's rainy season term, kind of hard. So you can call if you can't go through, just call the number. But yeah, you can call me. Sorry y'all. Bad connection today. Bad connection. We get bad connection from we people them now. We guess them today. Yeah, but Mr. Shilo, you know you're waiting. Then caller then say while we wait for Comrade Koita.
Yeah, let me call now on the WhatsApp.
Okay, all right.
Let me leave the Zoom call on the WhatsApp.
Okay, thank you so much. Yes, go ahead. Yeah. Leave the Zoom and call me there. Mr. Shilo, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, well, as far as the second caller, I can appreciate a spirit, a Dobrok, get any hope for the country, because every time you turn around is
against me.
Yeah, will I get you? You still on Zoom?
Me? In the first place, when this
So I don't know whether to continue or just wait for.
Okay. We can. While we're waiting on him, Mr. Shillong, go ahead with your comment, and if we wait on him, we can play a video later. They'll just go ahead.
I'm just simply saying the second caller seem to be very despondent. They don't give up on the country, and that spirit they will try to avoid, because at the end of the day, as disillusioned as we may be, the country is there. It's not going to get better by not doing anything. Not doing anything never solves the problem. So while I appreciate the way they say that, and justifiably so, I still encourage people for call, for listen, for come up with ideas, complain, and do all of that.
Yeah, will that get me?
Yes, will I get you?
Yes, Mr. Koita would get you. Did you hear me?
No.
Oh boy.
Yes, will I hear you? Go ahead.
He clearly has a problem. Yeah. So, is there a way?
Go ahead.
Yeah, because I was going to say, is there any way where the technical team can just mute him until is on board. With respect, we were talking about the McKinney issue and the arrangement for interview the president.
When government changed,
you know, so
we gotta get to that.
We know they get you, Mr. Comrade Koita. So you want to call on the WhatsApp number? Just take yourself out of the Zoom and go call the WhatsApp. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Yeah, with respect to the interviewing of the former president, I give them high marks because, as I say, the president, one of the lawyers then, Mr. Kamara, apparently make some arrangement for let the Inspector General and the former president talk on the phone. And of course, the former president expressed, we'll get a video or the audio. Yeah, we'll get the audio, I think.
Yeah.
Express himself that, you know, they try for only lawlessness. Okay. He's just trying to make sure that things are done. But the disappointing part about it is that I think the IG should have had some, I don't know how they operate, but it seems to me the IG should have had his own team by now for them map out some kind of strategy as to how they go enforce the order for interview the former president. And then the only difference would have been whether the former president is going to cooperate and to what degree. So the former president will express a desire to cooperate. And then the police chief say, well, but the ACC then concerned about safety. The commissioner concerned about safety for Emmanuel. Okay. Well, it's the duty for the AG for ensure safety. So my thing would have been for him tell the former president, for him people them, as much as they have the right to demonstrate on his behalf, they not get the right for obstruct law enforcement. So just make that clear. So they could have their people on the side of the road for make noise, this and that. I think they're protected by the Constitution for do all of that. But they should have had a clear rules of engagement that the ACC is coming. Mr. Former President, I thank you very much for the cooperation, and I hope there will be no incident, but we're going to come fully ready for any eventuality. So here is what I want from you. Please make a public announcement telling people that they may have the right to demonstrate, but we don't want any violence. But the former president was not called upon to talk to people them. And two, there is always this danger, because with the CNIR, where you get a group of people and where they take matters into their own hands. So you will therefore know whose side the support for your leader ends and where law enforcement begins. Because I'm a great proponent of law enforcement, but so am I for protection of constitutional rights. So I think, those two can be done. And but now it wasn't quite clear. Still, they end up saying, well, you know the last time how we'll be doing. Well, nobody knew the last time how they be doing between E and the X.
It's just like, you're going by assumption.
But it shouldn't be that way. Because the other problem is, like I say, I give the current government high marks because for the degree of civility in which then they try to handle it. But by the end of the day, the government realize they are the government. And then for promote safety of everybody.
Yeah, okay.
So they should dictate to a certain point to the former president how they want it to be done, and then go appreciating cooperation. It seems to me that's the manner for doing. But I think these lawyers are doing a great job. Then they are doing what lawyers necessarily will have to do for their clients. So.
We don't get Mr. Koita, Comrade Koita on the phone, an activist, a voice on social media, and an active. Yes, go ahead, please. Go ahead. I've been asking you the question there. You remember the question again. I ask you do you think, since you been there in the army, you served in the Sierra Leone army, and like I say again, I salute you for your service. Thank you. But you talk of the war, say because of the war, that's why we will just come up a war. That's why waiting at the findings of waiting the former administration under President Kogoma not being due because people are still in that attitude of war and that mental, they're not being mentally ready, so they're not going to cause any other confusion. And then we see a soldier man where a combat ready, fully loaded M16 cross across in body. It makes statements, political statements. And I know say I hear an audio where you talk say people them, then they wear soldier man uniform, then they give soldier man uniform, then they give people them where they don't pull ya soldier man uniform them for well. And Mr. Ali, before in phone disconnect, he talk say he not believe say a real authentic person do that then as now authentic person. So what you get for say for that thing there, and then we go to the McKinney issue for the ACC. We are waiting the ACC say about the taxes.
In the first place, when I begin talk, the first thing I say President Biobin talks away can either depoliticize official institution, i.e. the military and the police specifically. But when you become president, we see in soldiers them, these are people from the state lodge where they gather. They call them come be soldiers them, say you're not Tulumbu soldier. We see police officers calling them companies saying you're Tulumbu soldier. We still say they pull popular officers and men from the unit there because of the say they're connected to APC other things. I'll get a competition 3 times. The first person I serve in soldier, I know him when I Sergeant Jabba from the President and Lord, call me talk politics openly and record my post and viral. No action has been taken up to date. Secondly, a lieutenant, somebody that is staff sergeant, where you don't become lieutenant, to President and Lord, I get a text I go forward to you after this meeting. I engage me in text message. A military man and the military law say everybody they serve, you know, for even your politics, talk less for talk about politics, talk about them in the first place, for charge you and for dismiss you, dismissal offense, that is serious offense. Because when you are serving the army, you forget political party, but you for be independent. They don't do say it. We see for when government change, they don't become so political. Soldiers, both soldiers and officers, they not engage in politics. I see that video, I make an audio. I tell them, say, because they don't take action by the first soldier, second soldier, third soldier, then they continue for one. And the soldier not do an street to it do an inside state house. That is enough. I know of so many of them when are ex-soldiers, they will maybe know. When are ex-commander, the president, they are not soldiers serving, but they use the military camouflage for behave like say they are soldiers, and they know them. They get pistols, they get weapons, then they come out and do bad things, they know them. Then they are state house. These are the evidence. I know so many of them, both retired officers and soldiers, within the presence and convoy. Then they use camouflage. Then they went at Jacob Salone one, and they call his name a lieutenant. We know to me, we call it retired. We can army staff as lieutenant. In the state house, they were green, they were combat. Jacob Salone, this are the call out evidence. Where my brother talks say not true. They are there. So for let we see the country run to that level, the Sujaman take weapon, it's not that state house, in a talk of obscene language, they threaten the people there, way for defend, because the code of conduct say you for defend, say you defend the people their life and property. You serve the nation and not political party. We don't see them under this regime here, where they don't become so political. Which is not good. And the president who they serve, he was a military man. He know the rules and regulations. So they expect much from him for to become discipline the army, refrain him from the politics so he don't go back. Not so the soldiers know about politics long ago from 1967. But this time, he don't become the war. So this time, evidence of the audio that say, then they use people them to soldiers, they were combat, and so we get but them do the women meet me the parts of the army, we are the well combat, where they say this soldier then. Now the same sound we give. Then they misbehave. These soldiers they beat civilian and public. We don't come up far above that side. Soldiers get little or nothing for do in the democratic state because the mandate for now are training operations and regimental duty, nothing beyond that day. But also they go now on the street, beat civilian there, all people for road, for cleaning, it's not their duty. So it's wrong, absolutely wrong. And they are not soldiers. So they're not soldiers, so they're serving soldiers again, they talk politics, which is against the code of conduct of the military. You see, that's why I'm not talking about substantive faculty, and that's anything I talk, that's true. Secondly, as well the AC commissioner they say, then they investigate the former president. When I listen to the deputy commissioner on radio, where they interview him, He said if they get anything but somebody before the mount investigation, then they go to report and ask him. In your view, he said that they want to President Nkrumah, not to send an investigation. That the deputy commissioner, he said if they get anything against anybody, irrespective of the position we know, then they go to a force, then get your side of the story, then come out from there before the mount investigation. See that the man will not investigate. But also say Ben Kepala, now in the provoke issues, then they go to Facebook, in the post saying they go investigate, then they invite the former president for let them investigate on criminal. The man is chairman and leader of the Open Progress when the Free Opposition Party. So the former president, what happened at McKinney is a clear manifestation for TDC. It's not about APC, either SLPP. I can tell you with authority, I can tell you with fact because I'm there. People are doing not to APC, when I SLPP, so when I be SLPP, but don't say this year now, not to see that PR, which one? And not to protest. Nobody not stop them for go do their job. If you listen to the president in conversation with the IG, he don't tell you say nobody not stop them. He offer a young security motoka, which will let them come for do the investigation. If you don't want to do something, where they no say something is fishy underneath the one do the former president, why they not come? The people are not stop them. The people are telling them say anything the president go investigate and for God's sake, these are supporters, these are members, these are Salone who say President Nkrumah not do bad. These are people say president at least he do something good, not so bad no more. Don't talk about the good things that we do where they come, so they follow you. If you Lima, I can set example every night. Then Lima where they be better than CID. We get problem in SLBC. We see the presiding, we see the Napoleon, we see the Paran. They match it up from the office. Take and CID. They're not far there, they're not big, they're not cause, they're not signal, they're not for go. Why if you can't to President Nkrumah? When a former APC man and the chairman of the All-Pro Congress, they say we also to go sympathize with chairman leader, we will go sympathize with former president. Why it will be a threat? Why they command so many security, they command so many police and soldiers? Why? These are questions we say for us to say for Salonians. That man, they not say they need to go, they not block road, they not to nobody, they not beat nobody, they say they can't sympathize with the former president. The man say now at the give me Motoka, when I go take them and camp, they say no. The lawyers go, they say now when I can't do nothing, I don't go inside, I don't go investigate, they say no. What's in there behind? What's in there behind? So these are questions who will get for answers, to offend the answer. So for say, when Ben Kepala is say, then they will investigate how the anti-corruption commissioner is so different, in deputy is so different. In deputy say they don't investigation, say the one who get the former president in your side of the story before they come out to investigation. Now in the Ben Kepala, they go, with Fichai. For God's sake, President Nkrumah be former head of state. Now, President, we already support her for do corruption, but let there be a respect. Number two, now chairman and leader of the All-Pro Congress. So the worst case scenario, we APC no go to them, who allow SLP under which one for can demoralize the chairman and leader. No, put the former president. Is the chairman and leader of the All-Pro Congress. We get for in solidarity with them. We get for the PNM like any other person. We don't see what to make we don't respect the rule of law. We still say we don't give so many appeal in a court. They don't pull 10 members of parliament. Promote and appeal today. They don't make election when the APC candidate win. We don't go like court today. Then we get so many cases. They look for the court today. They don't go to appeal today. We don't appeal for like this commission of no right. They don't look at them. They continue for do. So we know say the judiciary they against we took nothing the way don't happen because President Bureau sent the judiciary for himself, for the system, for SLP, for let them favor them. So we cannot trust in them anymore.
Comrade Koita, that one we all know say anytime where one government come, now then they get the police they did for them, the army they did for them, the courts they did for them. So not all these presidents no more begin all the president the women don't sabi before, the court system,
for the person small, I'm not going to say you right or wrong. As we don't see, do the former President Nkrumah, where is he done in office, where they accuse the chief of staff, the same office of chief minister. We see where they go, where they will go court. We see where until they can go Parema Road, they begin facing trial. We see where a whole city mayor, President Nkrumah regime, they are accused of corruption. We see what happened. They pull from a position, they go court, then until the matter of. We don't say every government get control, but for be like what's happening so now. If you don't stand for say the truth, I was serving, or mind you no say I've been served. I don't begin serve from 1990. I did 28 years in the military, so I know exactly what I'm talking about. So if I say the army don't become more political than ever before, I talk about with an evidence. If I say the police don't become more political than ever before, I talk about an evidence. If I say the judiciary don't become more political than ever before, I'll get the evidence. In fact, I don't be a victim.
Okay. So what's in
when they arrest me,
if you want to talk
when I was arrested, I did court for give me bill. They gave me court 2 state out. They say pass state of give order for give me bill. Imagine this minute talking about an evidence as an example. I was in court for give me bill. Then never called the DPP. It's like called state house. Then deny me bill. Me now I talk with an evidence. Not to say that I'm meeting at court. Will I ask for bill? They say no. They say state house let not give me bill. Can you imagine to that level? It don't ever happen in history for person in court. The court state house say will not get bill. It's happening.
Wow. Okay.
Me, I'm not happy for continue.
Yeah,
if they don't do and doing security for continue. No, we are looking for the best. No, they set bad examples. Say we not been doing this in term. So if we have no, say change this one better government.
No, we don't want to let it happen.
No, copy bad examples.
No, we don't want my brother, don't get me wrong here. We don't want to repeat the mistakes of the past. But I just try for bring that point. They say this is the practice when I don't depend for the longest time. You know, and it is wrong. It is wrong. It is wrong. Now, then there we try for bring awareness to say, President Bio promised with new direction, enough for do like the old one. But like how myself can tell, I don't talk on around many times, maybe President Bio, I believe, say it come with good intention. But there are certain people that have old agendas and that Tonangi business where they make this process not go the way it's supposed to go. Whether now it is whoever it is that they therefore do things the right way for make it be the new direction. Let it be fair across the board. And just like how the Court of Arms say, unity, freedom, and justice for all. That's all we say. Because if what is good for the goose is also good for the gander. That what in them do for one is good for the other. But we don't have the unity, freedom, and justice for all. We have the orders from above word. We have all that stuff. It is wrong. It is wrong. But what in me they try for say now, what are they try for bring to? I said this is the thing that is happening. It don't happen for the longest time. We have to end it. When is it gonna end? It depends on we the citizens them for demand that the right thing be done. Because we have to have the right thing to be done.
Yes, it is very difficult a little bit because why it's difficult? People attached to the political party. Let me tell you something. When we are in prison, I was in court. People they give examples to 86 trial when they can go to heavy arm inside court. When somebody talk, they say no. That's what they do. In 1986, 87. Imagine. Then the same SLP still continue for talk. Say anything talk. They say the camp can change the country. You say a new direction. But when they talk, they say go. That's what they have do today. If we want change for God's sake, we want to get better governance, we want to get a better Sierra Leone. All the things that talk say you have been condemned. When I know they don't do the worst. They say this here. Okay, let me tell you now. They begin name this thing with impunity. Look at this poor boy when they made security fire. He went and fired and charged for attempted murder. He didn't jail. He didn't bail. He didn't jail. They're not even allowed to admit that hospital. And this is the new direction. From where they begin to act up to date, the sitting president not condemn none, not investigate none. You don't ever condemn anything. Let me tell you something that happen in a country. The sitting president have been somebody who don't have capacity for brief presidency, ABC they happen. If they give approval. So something that happen, nobody do, not to the IG, not to the CDS, that in the give approval, say, okay, when I do this here, not to the minister. I can tell this to authority. He know that. So not to say he know. He know whatever they happen. He knows about it and he know the danger with it behind that because in a former military man. If we look the Salone to that level, now nobody gets for talk. Nobody for condemn somebody, they not take you. President Biobi say they can't do orders from above. We don't say orders from above. Can go even right inside Pademaru. Who they Pademaru, they put me military confinements, they say orders from above. From Internal Affairs Ministry, where they go to say state house. This is the country we are living right now. Nobody for talk true. He talk them the whole you. How many people they hidden? Some of we just don't be sacrifice and laugh like me. I tell people, I say, I know they run away. I know they hide in a salon. I know they hide in a preacher. I say the truth. They will arrest me 10 times. I will say, I'll lay my life to this cause of effect. Because our next salon pass any other political party. Salon is bigger than everything in my life. Because I don't get no side for country that salon. I don't have another side for go. For say I get side for go to my election. I will challenge them for saying not because of SLPP. If the APC can't say that, they do the same thing, I'll go against APC back. Any party because we want Salone for go better. Salone for think Salone, not think political party. Now reminded thinking because me na APC either they do bad for saying or not do bad. No, me na SLPP. They don't say do so. You find. And you find for they take all one tribe for marriage or for put in a job. Is that taking Salone to anywhere? No. If we not condemn it today, government change. The worst will happen. We now go talk one day say communicate the worst is yet to happen. If we not condemn it happen now na Salone. If you present Biole for tomorrow, then begin humiliate them because of working at the president for SLPP. Even they do good now, Lord disgrace them because of we hate them. You know the things Salone nowhere. We are pulling the country down, not to the person. President Nkrumah is answerable to the law, like I say. It's supposed to go answer to what he say. President Nkrumah is 10 years. How you run this country? Let it go answer, but let it be in that genuine manner. Let it not be for pulling down syndrome. Say you don't do nothing, don't make nothing. No, you cannot. President decided all of you say, okay, this is how we do, but not expose them. No. Follow the venom. But for saying now, the paper say the 10 years they did nothing. All things have been bad.
Well, and see now the Court of Appeals day, then they put on the appeals and we go see how they go. People are calling, I think the phone line, somebody didn't have the line.
We can say the truth. Is that by that?
Go ahead, sir. Finish your thought.
So my saying here is the APC government should be held responsible for.
So it is not that APC they against the commissions of inquiry and the reports, because everybody get the right for go defend himself when a name come up in commissions of inquiry. And we all know say Salone corruption they. We all know, we know they go give a blind eye. We know they have done it and they continue to do it. Even in this present administration, we don't hear he claim that we don't come people, they don't talk of things the way other people and they do, we're not to the right thing. We don't hear he all that stuff today. We don't hear he about the rest saga. We not see today nothing happen to the rest. We don't hear any commissions of it. We don't hear any problem there. We don't hear any complaint there. We not see nothing happen. So we not say corruption there na Freetown. We not say corruption there na Salone. We know we cannot put make the hypocrite say we don't know say we people there where they na power, where they na government, where they na then government departments then they make deal, then they make stuff where they know they do right by the people. We know that. We know all them things and they so we not gonna deny say corruption a day, but all they say is doing it the right way. Mr. Chilon Saidori, Comrade Koita, they don't talk. I mean, say in a victim of the abuse of power where then a Salone rights now, or they lock on a court and they not get bail because they say orders from above, from the president's state house say they not forget order, they not forget bail, and the offenses was like speaking out or whatever it was that Agokas come back within at the crime where they be all on for.
Well, that's a shame because the courts, even in Shaka Stephen in time, when they made a try for, you get Shaka Stephen, S.I. Nkrumah, and they made a try, they made interfere from time to time for inject some political element into trials. There were judges who stood up to them. People like Beckus Davis, we stand up to them. We don't kind of thing there. Okay? There were certain people. Because the reality is, then lawyers here, then for realize say, this not their job. Not their responsibility. Why I say not to the lawyers, the judges, the courts. The courts for realize say, this not their job. Then for help forgive people them some confidence in the system. I think it's wrong for orders from above for go to a judge or a magistrate about detaining somebody. Then what's the use of the Constitution? You know? And it would seem to me that's why the government should have very good Attorney General, way for maintain the balance, way for try to tell the government, for say, Mr. President, you just not look too good, make we do things certain ways or not for do things certain ways. Now, so if what he's saying is true, of course, nobody will say that is right. There should never be orders from above. But I think even the previous government also they were engaged in this detention of people just for speaking out, not that impose any threats to the society, just because they were saying things that these people didn't like. So it's a tough challenge because democracy new to we not get a level of tolerance for each other because even by our own culture, truth, I think we know too used for let somebody say and for let we accept them. So now we're into this new thing with the democracy, or the try for practice, and it's tough for the guy who get the power for say the telling the truth and not for use that thing against you. But these are some of the challenges they will face. So I don't know who that Mr. Koita referred to where he say APC not do anything. Because I know say the commission's reports not say that APC not do anything good. I think they specify some of the things they wouldn't do. So I don't know who he may have been referring to. But again, in the general context of things, I like, and I think they should pursue the line of approach we then get, the civil manner in which then they try to investigate for interview the former president, and in willingness for cooperate and for move forward. Let's just all be very careful in terms of, because some of we at the end of the day, if you care about Australian that much, and if you're not going to get blind loyalty to APC or SLPP, because these are parties that have done terrible things and they continue to do that. Okay? And some of the things that Mr. Koita just mentioned is true. The prison killings, we've seen hardly any investigations. This is what I could never understand. But then 8 people got killed in McKinney, as valuable as their lives were. There was an uprising in Parliament, which makes me wonder, what about the almost 90 or more prisoners who got killed? Didn't their lives matter? I mean, is it not the duty of the parliamentarians who were so concerned about the lives that were lost in McKinney to have raised those same issues? Are they really genuinely sincere about the killings in McKinney, or they were just trying to have political advantage? Because if they're not trying to get political advantage, what is so trivial about the lives that were lost unprovoked at the prison when they go open fire on defenseless prisoners? These are very important things that we should deal with if we're serious about trying to solve country problem. But if we want to just make points, then it will always lead to this kind of situation where we see the take place all the time. But it's about time for good governance, because all the African countries are making progress. That's why I keep saying we should stop talking about America, England, France, Germany, Canada, all the places, Australia. Let's talk about African countries that are making giant strides towards progress, and not in terms of just road construction, bridges, or infrastructure, electricity, water. No, they restructure the entire operational approach to government, or to governance, because you cannot have a corrupt judicial system. And no matter how sincere the government is, the country will never go smoothly. We have to have a legal system where the people entrust. Yeah. The judiciary where the people entrust. But if the people are going to trust the judiciary, those who practice within that context, they also have to be trustworthy. Now, I see the lawyer, like the Bar Association, they of late, they went into this tirade about certain lawyers have been accused, lawyers of high integrity have been accused of corruption. I don't want to name names, but so the Bar Association, seems like on behalf of the Bar Association, they went on the offensive. Well, if the Bar Association is so concerned, what are they saying about cases that are languishing in the legal, in the court system for 5-10 years? Yeah. What are they saying about judges who are taking bribes? What are they saying about judges who are sitting on cases after they know very well? Now, come on. The Bar Association should take the profession more seriously. They also have a duty like the government, not only the elected officials. These are officers of the court. They should do better. So they cannot selectively be talking about, the high integrity of certain lawyers who've been attacked about certain things. And to be frank, there may be justification about some of these attacks on some of the lawyers, because I as a lawyer myself, and I like to be challenged on that. But I have difficulty with a lawyer who's a member of parliament and is engaged in active legal practice. And not only that, turns around and represents the president of the executive branch as in client, and then he say, then the government get for pay this member of parliament who is representing the president of the country privately. So one member of the branch, they represent another member of the branch. Then he claims innocent and conflict and being paid by government funds. And then I cannot see how the Bar Association think that's perfect. And then there's this accusation, but I don't have any factual basis, but at least it may be true that you have two of the former presidential lawyers who were heading the ACC, whose job it was for investigate corruption of the very people that they are defending now. And they may not be in violation of any ethical guidelines, but it does give an appearance of conflict of interest. So they cannot come up in a high house and begin complaining, say, oh, these are men of integrity. Let's actually inject integrity into the profession. Let's make the profession of what it used to be, a noble profession, a profession that stands for the rule of law, a profession that looks out for society. And this is what some of us have learned in this country. There is a reason why Black people are not riding in the back of the buses in America. That's because lawyers who went to court. And even in Sierra Leone, I knew lawyers like T.S. Johnson that 90% of the Sierra Leone bar, maybe 99% of the Sierra Leone bar, may have never heard of. We, in my estimation, is the best criminal defense attorney Sierra Leone has ever produced. T.S. Johnson. The APC people should know him. He went all around the country in the 60s defending APC when they get into, when Abba Magadi tried for lockup, Taki, and all them people in there. The country owes a debt to a man like that. So for those of you young lawyers, the Sierra Leone Bar Association, those of you who have, you should have a T.S. Johnson Foundation. You should have a lot of things after the name of this man. Go back and read about T.S. Johnson. Now, be me a role model, Andy, because he was not fearful of government. T.S. Johnson is the man of the Kurubale, the state of Sierra Leone or the nation of Sierra Leone versus Kurubale. He was the defense attorney. When I go and read the Kurubale case, then when I go know what a lawyer, a real lawyer mean.
That is the thing. We don't trust the system to work.
This was a man who never made any money.
We don't trust the system. They don't work for the people.
T.S. Johnson, when Kurubale allegedly killed a top police officer because he was being deported to a country he claimed he was not a citizen of, which by chance somehow led to the chief officer, Grant, in death. When the government of Sierra Leone wanted to hire a lawyer abroad, because not a single lawyer in Sierra Leone wanted to defend this man because it was unheard of to have killed a top police officer in broad daylight in Sierra Leone out of anger. This man did it in the presence of a lot of people, and he supposedly had a foreign name. It was T.S. Johnson who stepped forward and said, I can defend this man. And successfully defended him, and he was found guilty of manslaughter. So some of the young lawyers they need for the Bar Association should try to go back, and there are some older lawyers in the system who should know something about Kurubale, because it's been over 50 years now, or about that. So the Bar Association, please, if we're not so concerned about integrity, speak on behalf of the poor people whose cases are being tied up in court for years upon years upon years. Try for eradicate a system that does nothing but tie up people's cases in court because they're too poor to afford lawyers. When I go back and reconstruct the Constitution that says matters of constitutional issues can only be raised at the Supreme Court level, which is bad law. So we want to talk about straightening out country, not only the corrupt politicians. I mean, it's right across the board. So this is my line of work. This is my profession. So let me go for my own colleagues then. So I'm not impressed by them.
Well, thank you, sir. Let me take one more caller. Then let me end for today because we don't go over the 2-hour mark. Good evening, caller. What's in your name and also where you call from?
This is Mr. Belbo calling from Dallas, Texas. How are you doing?
Yes, good evening, my brother. Go ahead, sir. What you get for me today?
Yeah, let me first attend to the question I want to put on board, whether Madabio will win the fight for corruption. Of course, yes, we go win. But you see, that this, as you always tell, we're living. When somebody, they cook that kitchen, when we all get for either food, that we order at the house, now for we they cook. We time reach for big pepper, this force behind our room. But at the end of the day, when the food not come up fine, we start for blame the cook. And they happen at Salone. We all, the agenda of prosperity in that country, we all be on the talker. 30 years and more back ago. That the only way we will succeed in that for there we take care of corruption in that country. Make it get out of the way. Which even as we see in America today, that don't be the biggest issue in this country right now, corruption. Where you don't make everything not get stand right now. And think of America, they get everything. But because of the few years where these guys don't take over corruption day, but Putin don't lack, many lives don't lost. Let alone Africa, where we're not even up to the standards of America. Salone in general, we decide for say we just cite somebody because of tribal line, because of regional line. I am atheist. Nobody no need for investigation about that. Me na executive member na the diaspora. Me na chapter leader na me chapter. But since the election be done democratically, we believe that we want peace for Salone. We want progress for our country. Some of we decide not for really follow up with most of the issues in the hands of the law. Because when you do that, that means you're not a peaceful citizen. Because first, we therefore rely on the law. Let them prove themselves wrong to we. And then we go with them. Now, when the whole thing started, we say, hey, which can corrupt, which can corruption, which can commission of inquiry. Now it don't happen. And we begin to say back, okay, it may happen. Because if it happen under the watch of this government, in back, he go be careful what he go do. So tomorrow when your time come, so now what they do, he go be careful for tomorrow for letting time not come and make up the same problem. Now we don't agree this will not go on out of reasonable doubt. They don't see a lot of things where Anes do. Now, Anes he knows say na law abiding somebody as he call himself. Anes you know say you don't do anything what is wrong. Just simply can't answer to the call of the nation. Not to mind that the call up, but the nation they call up because it's the affairs of the nation. Just simply can't answer the call. And then whatever way you do, what you not do, let we know. Maybe at the end of the day, the one side road don't hear it. When you bring it your own, when we hear it, maybe we gonna sign you. But not where you hide everything and put the country through what you will see right now. With a see now we country, a political leader, they bring the society for back them up for what you do. Is that what the society did for the McKinney? So all these things when they come on and do. So me, what you mean go tell anybody like Mr. Mohammed, I really applaud you for most of the laws them where you the preacher we, the guidelines where they give we, as how we they abide by rules and regulations, as how we for do things, we don't get problem in our country. But at the same time, people like we are very important as most of we. Let we send out messages to people. Let's forget about the sidings. Wherein Mina here and there, Mina this sort of be, Mina that be. Let we say the truth. What the Anes they do right now You know, they go with the law of any nation. You know, they go with the law of any nation. And then this morning on the phone call with JFK and IG, everybody where it go, anybody where it go school, it go able to say, and then it's part and parcel of the issues of that country.
Okay, I mean, in term go of, you know, I wanna we play that audio the quick before we go. Let me play that audio the quick. Let people that listen to the conversation, because like we said, this is the voice of Sierra Leone. Everybody in view matter. Everybody, as long as you do it respectfully and talk how you feel, everybody get right for say how we feel. We they do it respectfully, and we know say the one day where they run the country, then they listen and they watch, we they send unto them, then they watch we. So let me go play that audio they please. Let me
Yes, my brother.
Yes, AIG.
Yes, sir. IG.
Yes, IG. Sorry, Nigeria TV number.
Oh yes, that's true.
I apologize. I don't reach before former President Kuroma, and I go one let you talk, and instead they listen to you, let you understand the circumstance on the ground.
Okay.
Are they put you on speaker?
Okay. Okay, you are putting me on speaker. Okay.
Yes, I put you on speaker now.
All right.
So you can state what your position, and you'll hear his response. He's here now with me.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Good afternoon, partners. Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, IG.
Yeah, no bad, sir.
Good.
Yes, sir. Our role here this time is to support ACC to interview you, and now that they just do as a security sector.
Yes.
And that they don't come because now being Monday this before happen. But we've been made to understand that we have been agreed through your lawyers and Mr. Ben Kefala to left for today, Thursday.
Yes.
And that, but when they don't come, they say the security situation around your house is so untenable that people then they just holler, cause security sector, cause the sitting president and the like. So, which is not, so I have cause to call Mr. Joseph Kamara, who has been my brother for quite a long time. I said, this is not good for our country. I said, let them talk to those that are around there to leave that place, because the issue there is they are just coming to interview former president. And people should not be coming around his premises and start to do this kind of thing. It's not good. It's not good at all. I said, no, our business is to provide security for the ACC. Now they are afraid of passing through those humiliations, which is not supposed to be happening in Sierra Leone. And we expect that people can behave like decent people in our society. I think this borders on former presidents, and that now a noble person. If they are coming to behave that kind of situation is not good, and the ACC are saying that they cannot pass through them, and they have obligation that they should get you interviewed. And yes, sir.
Well, Mr. IG.
Yes, sir.
Make us start first by congratulating you on your appointment as IG.
Thank you, sir.
This is not the very first time they get an engagement from your appointment.
Yes, sir.
And wish you well in this new assignment.
Yes, sir.
Now, the issue we discuss, now issue is a public issue, and as far as me concerned, did you get me?
Yes, sir, they get you, sir.
As far as me concerned, I don't grant this interview because of my respect for the law.
Yes, sir.
And also having in mind in circumstances as a president of this country, we don't serve for 2 terms.
The issue of people around and my premises and anywhere, not to anything will come to Wuna as a surprise, especially to you, IG. Are you there?
I'm getting you, Sam.
Yeah, because you understand, you know, the last time we had a similar situation, but we engaged seriously and Wuna come in, Wuna conduct, Wuna interview, and it went through peacefully. Not so?
Yes, Sam.
Now I think this is not a different situation. I don't tell me lawyers them. Me wants for make we conduct this thing today, and I don't want it to be postponed. I also don't tell them, say, you fortunately we don't go through this, and what we need is for make the lawyers and me own outfits of a security apparatus when a government you go take demand them. Just ignore what people they say and talk and come in and conduct the interview. And when the interview done, we go out. Then go about the business. Me self no one for make it appear like say, I don't want for subject myself. Far from it. Because my hands are clean. I am not an angel, but I think I have answers to everything we don't day out. So I'm not afraid to be subjected to any interview, and above all, I respect the law. So I think let we work together, and let us also ensure that these things are expected everywhere in the world.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but you look, demonstrations in America against Trump, other people in the government. It is now your responsibility as the police to manage the situation. So we don't come now and say the lawyers and we own security apparatus will guarantee them of a secured environment within my compound. When they go, let them go. Let us don't escalate it to the point where the people will begin to interpret them how they want to interpret them. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Now, one thing, sir, Your Excellency, former President, is I don't have problem with your compound. I don't, because I have been there once, twice, thrice. My only problem is those that are out of the perimeter of the compounds are creating a lot of problems for those that are coming in to get you to face with you. And that now that I know it's my police business to manage it, they are your people. They are our people.
Mr. IG.
Let us tell them to excuse us to come and pass. Yes, sir.
Mr. IG, the last time, in fact, the situation where they now is not as bad as it was where you been come. Me don't tell you, say, the legal people and we own the CSO dinner. Make them go take the people them and come in and can conduct this interview. Let us not begin to blow this thing out of proportion.
All right, sir. Let me just call them and tell them, let them use the method I used the last time to reach out to you.
So you don't get experience, Mr. IG. You don't come to this place here under more difficult circumstances. And you succeeded in doing it, and you would have concluded without any issue. Yeah?
Sorry, sir. I'll be there with
hello, IG?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
You know, all of these that they do, now because I respect the law.
Yes,
you understand?
Yes, sir.
As to why they do this and other things is something else.
Yes,
but
sir.
We just want peace and quiet in this country. I don't fight for peace and quiet in this country for a very long time, and I'm still on it.
Yes, sir.
So please, let we get peace and quiet. Let us don't blow it out of proportion. Let us don't be too heavy-handed and let people not use any excuse. Say, I don't want to subject myself to an interview. I want to go through this interview, and I also want to work within the framework of the law in this country.
Yes, sir. Which is very good. That's a very good pace you have set, and I will talk to them. Thank you very much for talking to me, sir.
You are welcome.
You are welcome.
IG.
Okay, that was the conversation when it happened Thursday with the ACC. Then we go conduct an investigation. We all see the crowd. We all see the people say, not my president, not my former president. Unawango embarrass him. And we don't hear Mr. Koita, Comrade Koita, a very active activist on social media and an APC acting member of APC. He say, you know, they unpick the people, them, then they try to embarrass the people, them. They are not against fighting corruption, but they are for doing it the right way. Now, I make all them noise and they've been grabbed. And we also don't hear Mr. Emmanuel, where now have been the former Secretary General for the SLPP party, Mr. Emmanuel Ali, inside been there with we earlier, but because of connection, bad connection in Freetown, they didn't get for go off because rain be they come and they get for go the side way, they not get good connection, so we're not able to join with, but we anyway inside don't talk say waiting this present government they do, it is not witch hunt, it is just trying to do the right thing for try for us the president will say we get for make corruption. It is a fight that we must fight, and it is a fight that we must win. And also he say he get for make corruption unfashionable na Freetown. So we all for glady when they fight corruption na Freetown because they don't do for the past government, the one that we sit down now, then self when and turn reach, then self get for answer. Nothing what we for do, but then we for put things there in place. We go stop this for let it not become attractive for do all the cheating them, and then you and then corner and thing the way then they do for cook the books, for make so for take what not belong to them, and where they deprive the people them livelihood, for let them not able afford basic living, basic necessities of life. It is a struggle. And I will say again, the poor within a salon are not seeing kind when maybe they grow up. The poor is extra poor. Poor. People them, and I see people them poor. I know one day see people them poor that kind of way they were them poor in Freetown. Because of corruption, government after government, they don't do so with people and depriving the people them. We see people and they die in a hospital. We hospital in a death chamber. Death chamber, you go there, you they die because there's nothing to save your life in our hospitals. They don't even get crash machine if you go into stuff for let you go into cardiac arrest for let they able bring you back and jack you and shock you back to life. They don't even have those things. The things then for save lives in hospital is just a building. People are wearing clothes, doctors are wearing clothes, then say free medical, but nothing there that works properly. If you don't have money for go at least to a little bit decent hospital or fly out of the country with people and they die, all because of corruption. We watch the school system don't go down. Everything they bring on together, they say put her under government. Government cannot run everything. You get civilian section, we go on thing, privatize stuff. And if there are not jobs for the people, I ask again and I ask Comrade Koita, because he was a soldier, I said, do you think our country has healed from the war? The remnants of the war is what we are dealing with, because the mental side of our people, their mind, it is in captivity. All the pain, all the loss, all the neglect, and it's only in Africa. And that was the Nobel Prize winner, President, Seinka. He said only in Africa will thieves be regrouping to loot against, and the youth were against, and the youth whose future is being stolen will be celebrating them. Only in Africa. The people there where they take una money, we for gonna better education, we for gonna better opportunities. We celebrate these people, we're ready for die for these people. We're ready for go out there and stand up, but yet we don't have a decent home, yet we don't have decent schools, yet we don't have a decent life, basic living, basic necessities of life. We cannot afford. We cannot afford. Because why? The country is banned. How will people come? They are then they allow investors. They're shouting everywhere. We're gonna bring investors. How will an investor come to a country like Sierra Leone? We're saying we have beautiful beaches. That's all we have to show. We get minerals, but the market is run by the international world. Now then they tell we when the mineral they high or when the mineral they low. We cannot produce our own things, our own stuff for where we people in life go easy. We cannot do nothing for ourselves because of corruption, corrupt practices. It's not only about taking money. It's about the things we do, the little things, the impunities, the injustice. That is why the war started. And we continue for do the thing, and yet we say we want peace, yet we say we want work together, yet we say, but we have to do it. We have to chase corruption, and we have to win corruption, but we have to win in the right way. If we do on the right way, everybody will be on board. Everybody, every Sierra Leonean. But then you have some loyalists, no matter what, how right it is, they still see it as something else. We have some of those people. And how do you change them? Give them jobs. We got to create opportunities, because when opportunities are created, I don't feel loyal to my party. Yes, I might love my party. Yes, I might support my leader, but I get work, I get usa they eat. Not to that man get for say, yes, why you bobode ya. Yes, while we see the other term where them boy then they talk, waiting then they do out and they use them, our politicians and using them. Our politicians. We are stuck in people and country them, because we cannot go back to our country. Then some people will tell me, oh, it's man, they cannot your country. You know why the white people go to your country? To go rip you off, to go steal from you, to go take you ideas, then come, they make it into $1 billion industry. They go there. They go there as Peace Corps. They go there. Then they observe, then they do observation, gathering of evidence. When they go on nets, then get them dictionary, then journal, then they write, then get them recording. They write all waiting and see. Then they use them for better themselves. But yet we cheer and we say, oh, no one can Salone. We must fight corruption. The trial of the people. The trial of the people for corruption is not a political trial. It is a criminal trial. We're not using it for political purposes. We cannot use it for political purposes. If we fight corruption, we're going to take politics out of it. If we don't take politics out of it, we will never win it, and we will be doomed. The struggle continues. Like I say, my uncle always said the struggle continues unabated. From when I be a little girl, I hear them say that the struggle continues unabated. But we're hopeful. That's why we're here. We're hopeful. That's why this platform was built, so that every voice can give an opinion. And the wise thing for do is our leaders to listen to the people. Listen to the cry of the people. Listen to the message, the spoken and unspoken messages. We got for listen, for go before. When they did Bintumani 3, we were happy. We were thinking everything will end. And I was calling, I was saying, I wish I can see President Koroma and President the shake hand and former President by Koroma and President Bio, then shake hand and come together for show solidarity and unity. Say, let us heal. But no, you have people underneath that it puts the fire under. We have them. We're not going to say we don't have them. We can see them. Even the first lady of Sierra Leone, where it will make that audio where they say it is swear. Where it is swear, say there are some people that want to take the president down a dark road. Whoa, don't come on. We don't want to go there again. Those were the words of the first lady. We have some of those people around him. That's why we say, who is whispering in your ear? Who that they whisper now? Yes, them. We have them. We have them. We have some people that want to go back to the dark side of Sierra Leone. Mr. Koita is still on. Okay, we go get a last word. Mr. Koita, I'm sorry, I didn't know you were still on. I'm very, very sorry. I don't know say you answer. Go ahead, because now you na me guest today. Now you get forget. I want to give you the last word. I want to give you the last word. Let you talk to the people. Them. Let you tell the people. Them. Waiting now you take and waiting I feel and waiting now you advise to the people as a soldier of Sierra Leone. And I know say because you're a soldier, you say you served for 28 years, and I salute you again, because to wear a uniform is pride, is love for country. That's why you did what you did. So I want to let you talk again as an activist, the voice of an activist, as a young man in Sierra Leone, and you live in Sierra Leone, you're proud of Sierra Leone, you say, I am not going to run away from Sierra Leone. I'm going to stand and I'm going to speak, and I'm going to speak the truth, and I am going to fight for unity, freedom, and justice for all. I want to let you talk to the people then. I want to let you give a message. We're going to encourage we, and we're going to talk on how we forgo about doing this. We're not going to bring any kuskas in our country, because we don't want war. We don't want to go back to war. Go ahead, please.
Well, I want to thank you for giving me an opportunity for coming at this platform, and now we speak the truth, because I go to the platform because I say when I name and voice of Salone, and I can tell people when the program started, everybody follow me. I say now remember say Salone be pass to all, and they pass every political party they represent. Me, I always talk, say, I want to do something way, then we'll left talk tomorrow when are good, we're not for bad. We all, if we think as Sierra Leoneans, we look how we come out, if we already know how we come out, what happened we done the 11 years war, they will know what happened. Especially women and children that they suffer the most. Only people left suffer the most. And we suffer because we wanted a pure democracy. We suffer, we say we want a government to hold accountable. We suffer because we say we want like injustice done in this country. If we see, we don't mean go and impact them day. They will see where the world done. What is the right? The summary of the TRC report. Now, forbid the Bible of any president. We can look into them. Look at the causes. You see the summary. See the judiciary and the police are the main cause of the 1991 civil war. We bring Salone to arrest for 11 years, and we don't see Usai the police. They do so many unprofessional jobs. Them. We don't see the judiciary. They do thing them. When it not they against the rules of this country. But for God's sake, they say if somebody go to court, 3 appearances with no evidence, and for discharge them, and they tell you it's an authority. I get put in a Padema Road midday. They don't take 11 years at Padema Road. Nobody no go prosecute them. Then they not get witness in the case. People they did 5 years. When they go lock them on trial, they never go the judge. They not get indictments. And we get to call and say we get legal aid. We not for not illegal aid. Then there's so many. It gets to 2 years. They know. Imagine Padema Road is 1,460 inmates. When I was there, what actually happened? People are not get representative. These are things we are arresting for chaos. These are the highest injustice. Then I see the youth, they're not engaged, they don't disturb politicians, don't distract them. They know they even see the future. They know they see the future. You see them, you know, this based on drugs. They will just can't fool them, give them alcohol, or go do things where they are against the law. For God's sake, me, I don't depend on anybody for say go get accounts of how you serve. I can tell people say President Kuma is not an angel, but it's not a devil. The APC party also say them will tell them say they're only clean 100%. No, we want a proper and we want a inquiry where we say everybody will not say no, this one can't do genuine. Even if a papa or a brother they accused, you will not say no, this one they don't like partner. We don't want to see an inquiry like we will count problem. Like what happened in Makini, we all see the reason and know the causes. What in the student they do so now, we all the same and for condemn and one for assassination. Or say the military should be kept out of politics. The police will be kept out of politics. We will look for Sierra Leone. Salone is bigger than every other person, a big party APC or SLPP. We may be connected to political party, but not for connected to the party country. Because Salone, now you all for worship after God. Me na Salone at worship. Let me live my life for the country. I don't do it in the capacity of the military. I do it in an activist now. For the voice of the voiceless. What thing can me go to jail? That because if a gunman fire a civilian, we may not say not follow the rules of engagement. I talk and say I don't do bad. I was in prison 7 months happily because I know I didn't commit a crime. I say the truth. If you all snap when somebody do bad, we condemn them as a nation. People go left for misbehave. If we all support the good thing, people will begin the good thing. But now we left for political parties and bigger than the country. Salone to grow because we take a party them big past the country. We are seeing the truth. We are blind to the truth. And the truth of Sierra Leone and them. Now we not talk because we want to talk or condemn because we want to condemn. But now we all can as a nation. What's in the divide we? No, not support them, no condemn them. Whatever they call tribal, let's go to that is right now. I can call institutions them like ONS, with the Office of National Security. You see, from the DG, the DDG, all the men are from one tribe, one region. You go to police, you see the IG, the DIG, the Director of Crime Services, the operations man, all are from one tribe, one region. You see, say, we are going to what will be the condemn, nepotism. One tribe dominant and the institution them. Go to different areas them. We first stand as a nation because if the APC come back or any party come, they say, well, if the APC come, so that ultimately man will call the Libaman, miniman and sack them. We are not moving still as a nation. We for condemn them here now, for let not happen tomorrow. And they tell every Sierra Leonean, Lord, we think Sierra Leone. Lord, not just look at the narrow-minded. Lord, not look so the go. Lord, look so come out. So we go prepare for also to go. Salone don't suffer a lot. People will not die. Pay prices, especially women and children. Lord, not allow for play repeat again. Anybody want out them, Lord, will condemn them. Once again, I say thank you. I will like for the Canada, the media, so to get better network. I will contribute more and more. I tell you, thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Koita. We will always come with Koita. Always. I will call on you when I want the voice of the opposition for be on the thing. And I can listen to your audio them. You know, that's why I chose you, because I know, say, you know, you are kind of, you know, even though you did for you party, but there are times when you can condemn something them way not right. And that's so we all for day. What we begin and do wrong with Mr. Shillon, we don't hear Mr. Comrade Koita. A message and which you get for left with people there with today.
Someone tried for ask on this show. They say, within me, they'll contribute to the Sierra Leone judiciary as a lawyer. And I think which in the possible mean if I don't try, or if I don't ever try for contribute, well, I could say a whole lot. I have always been the kind of lawyer, from the time I was young, much younger, I became a lawyer when I was 26. I'm in my 70s now. And from the first day when I get my bar license, as a Sierra Leonean living in the United States, the privileges the way I don't enjoy, the quality of law, the physical structure within which I study my law. I always say this is the kind of law schools, like the kind of we'll get now, where I would like for see what people and get the younger generations, for expose them to better environments. And I continued that. In the 1970s, I contacted someone who became a good friend subsequently. At the time, he was the president of the Salone Bar Association, Dr. Marcus Jones. Eventually, he and I became very, very close friends. But I try to suggest certain ways. I get letters, exchanges of how we can improve the legal system. How we just can inherit the system in Sierra Leone and just keep it going as we inherited it from the white man. We therefore make some adjustment. We therefore fit into culture. We therefore modernize them. At the time, he take issue with me. In fact, I can quote and say, the system in Sierra Leone is of a very distinguished legal ancestry and is very well tried. This is a quote. This is someone who became a very good friend, eventually. And I understood that to mean the system what we inherit so perfect, you don't need any improvement, is good. But I found that to have been a ridiculous statement, because everything in life, if we not get for user, it need improvement, it need adjustments, it need repairs, it need maintenance. And this was one of the high-power lawyers in Sierra Leone at the time. Was also a professor, was also a practitioner. But instead, the system we inherit, need improvement. It's very well tried. It's of a very distinguished legal ancestry. That would have been more appropriate for an Englishman, white Englishman, saying that, not for an African. But you see, if nothing else, American education teach me, it teach me self-pride. So I found that to be disturbing. And as years went by, still as a young lawyer in the 1990s, this was almost probably about 20 years afterwards, I decided, I'm just saying this so this person who asked the question will know which attempt they want to make.
Yeah.
I decided to form an organization of Sierra Leonean lawyers in the United States, the entire United States. I said, well, I cannot be the only Sierra Leonean. We left Salone, we studied law here, make my search around. I was able to round up as many as 38 to 40 people, spreading from North Carolina, where I am still, to Alabama, to Mississippi, to California, to New Jersey, to New York, to Washington, D.C., to Ohio. There were a lot of us. In no time, I was able to put an organization together, and the people I contacted were thrilled, including then at the time, the ambassador from Sierra Leone, Ambassador John Lee, who himself is a lawyer. I contacted him, and he was very gracious about it. He said the embassy is always open to us. He will be more than happy to make the embassy available to we anytime we want for all meeting day. And we use it as a regular platform for all meetings year after year after year. And the organization was called ASLOS, Organization of Sierra Leonean Lawyers in the United States. Okay? And we did everything possible to try for align, for associate, for suggest, for bring to light a lot of things then from this part of the world for help with country. I met with chief justices, I met with Attorney General. I met Attorney General Francago at one occasion. I met Attorney and Chief Justice Aderena Thomas at another occasion. Even one of the commissioners, this is all for the record, Justice Bankole Thompson, who had known me through some legal work I had done for someone he knew. We became very good acquaintances. We meet in Sierra Leone. We did memo upon memo, a lot of stuff, trying to tell them, hey, we have a lot to offer. Even when committees were being put together by the Constitution of Sierra Leone, we offered. These set of people, Sierra Leonean lawyers, the ones who were in power, were just outright reluctant to accept any view from outside their own structure. So for me, as a matter of fact, I once met, and in fact, because I was a very active lawyer. From Sierra Leone, when I was a student, I was an activist. Yeah, I was. I even at one time, he may or may not remember, Dr. Abdoulaye Conte. We met in New York. I found at the time he knew little or nothing about the legal system of Sierra Leone, which kind of shocked me, because the first time we met, me and my cousin, one of my partner, would tell and say, we are Sierra Leoneans, we are lawyer in North Carolina. He immediately say, oh, code civil, which means civil code. Well, where did he get that from? Americans then gave more rights to the British common law with the practice of Sierra Leone than even Sierra Leoneans. The people who founded this place were Englishmen. I was shocked. The legal system, the Magna Carta, everything that was brought to this country was from England. We can lay claim to British law. We mean Sierra Leoneans because I'm of two places. I'm a Sierra Leonean, I'm an American. We Sierra Leoneans cannot lay any claim close to Americans. because the real heritage, now the British, the law came from there. But the reluctance on the part of people
that's the problem,
to accept new things, new ideas, for think progressively, continue for stone me. And that has gone from generation, from a friend who I tell you, when I be one of the big shot lawyers in back home, who is dead now, to my generation, to the current generations, they what would they try for groom for the future? Nothing has changed. So whoever wanted to know what have I done, I've met with Attorney General, I've met with Chief Justice, I've met with a special court judge, I've met with Justice Bankole Thompson, all of that. He could tell you, say, all my effort. I formed the organization. I was president of the Salone Lawyers Association in the United States for 8 or 9 years, because nobody wanted me to leave the presidency because they felt I had a passion about it. So I have tried, and I'm going to continue trying. But we need for change, we approach, we mentality of short-sightedness. So this is not only on the part of the politicians. The professionals, they are worse. You know, American trained lawyers have a lot to offer, particularly those of us who studied substantive law of the United States. We get more than the current lawyers can offer in the country. They either work with we and they continue waiting and they do so. But because of new technology, I'm able to transmit this information that I was never able to do many, many years ago when I became a lawyer. So until the day I die, I will continue this. Because I think people should know by now that I'm very passionate about it. And so I have no reason to be passionate. If I want to be selfish, I've been here a long time. Life has not been that bad for me. So I can say, what the hell? I'm here, I'm good, my children are grown, you know, I have kids in the professions, they're doing fairly well. But no, I think another value America teach me is you get for give back. Give back to the community where you come out, give back to the country where you come out. So I think, say, what I'm doing now and what others on this show are doing is to give back to the country, because we see what in this country they do for we, and we know we can do more. So it's not always, we don't always have to give back in money, in material stuff. We can give back in intellect. So the Lily one, Alan, and I always tell people and say, listen, I don't know it all, but I'm willing to exchange ideas. That's why I like this platform. It no matter if you get degree, it no matter if you go college, it no matter if you can read and write, come on board, come up with ideas, because ideas that they come from only the one that will get degree. For one of the things with VOS Salone today, not too much degrees, no common sense. So in answer to the person who asked that question, if I have tried to do anything, yeah, God knows I've tried. But we are one stubborn set of people. But not only are we stubborn, we are very, very short-sighted, and we are not progressive in thinking, with thought process at all. Anybody will go look the United States of America, and you think anybody will learn like we participate and practice the profession where you learn, not gonna for offer a country like Salone, you are out of your mind. I rest my case.
Thank you, Lawyer Shilon, our voice of wisdom, a voice of experts. I mean, Salone people, we all love Salone in we own way and we think. So what would they try for do now? Now for try for mix in the middle, because there are times we all not go in on one side. We all not go mix, we not go see something and they eye to eye, but we go respect, say, you know what, last see who side that person they come on last, and that's why we are here. And we're giving back. And people then get that way for bring fiti, for bring waiting and call to thing. That shows what's in there from the inside is what people bring outside. What is inside, you bring outside. We get for grow past that. We get for grow past the abuse, the name calling, the thing then because you disagree with somebody or then talk something against the person where you don't idolize and don't make them God. Yeah, they're not angels. They're not perfect. They have done wrong too. And if somebody don't do wrong, we're able to call and say for the wrong way, don't do. You can disagree with me or disagree with me, cause Mr. Shilon or Professor Kutubu. We can disagree, but you know there are times when Professor puts some messages out there challenging to that. You know, I'm like, Professor, why you do this? Why you say so? And we go come back for let I understand who side they come out, why they say what he say so. So that we are not always on the same thing, but what we're trying to do is for bring that unity, freedom, and justice, for speak for the people that were not able to talk. And so we people the way they watch Mr. Salu Alpha say then they tried for call the WhatsApp line. I'm very, very sorry because we've been with guests hold up the line.
Yeah, the line tied up, yeah.
Yes, the line was tied up, so you'll not be able to give you points. But there's always an opportunity. Next week, we'll pray to God for giving long life. Next week, we will come back. But I will not be here next week. But whoever is sitting on my chair will take charge next week. But I will still the following week.
Yeah.
They will pick up, and then we go call back Mr. Emmanuel and me Comrade Koita and whoever want to come. The platform is open. This is the voice of Sierra Leone. Una come, let we talk. Una come, let we discuss. Some people cannot come on camera. So when we come on camera, we get the bold mind for show we face. Please una respect we small. Now that no more with the big. With the big, let we respect one another, mutual respect. Let big one respect small one, with small one self-respect big one. And then no more. We need the love. The impunities make the country, the injustice, they make the country, the tension, they build, and we get for do things, try for do them, for let we diffuse the atomic bomb that is ticking in Sierra Leone. We don't want to go back down that road. We don't want to go back. Because nobody wins in a war. Nobody, the mightiest nation, United States, that are wore their uniform, they still fight in a 17-year war. They're not winning yet, waiting, and nobody wins in a war. Gonna alternate. Let's see them cut and then cut through to them. Let's see, gonna then cemetery, they let you see them demand the way they don't they. Walk in the streets of Italy, you see them handicap, they amputee them people, then picking their way, grow up the streets because they kill them, mama and papa, then during the war. Go look at them, the mess where they do. Lights now na free to nine and they use them. That is why we don't want that. Every human being, as long as, because our society don't teach we how to hold on to titles, how to get that stuff, how to make some. That is why we go into this, why we don't care for nobody else, because it's just about the me, the self, the I, when there is the us. We as a people, because if your neighbor not live good, it go affect you. You go say today not affect you, but it go affect you. Because if you turn thief man, now in same one back go can bring the one that they broke yours. So we for care for one another. We for busy waiting they happen. We for pay attention and busy to waiting they happen. And who side they for talk where the constitution allow we go team up with one voice and we go speak the wrong and the injustice. We go talk up. But dear, at the left una all till the other week where I go come, go take care of yourself, go be your own beautiful, Go do something. Go light your work. Go light your candle. Let us not spread hate. Let us spread love. Let us respect one another. Let us respect the office of people that they hold. Let us respect. Then we respect them. You might not love them, but respect them. Let's keep with dignity. If somebody does wrong, we try to correct them. Let us correct with love. And not with hate, where they bring tension, where the other person will feel belittled, and then the other person says, get other people them, we get other people them. We get for love. Love is the greatest thing of all. Care and love. Let we remember, say, if now we, what if it was me? So till next week, I go left una, I say go beyond beautiful, like I can always say, if the sun, they shine by me, not jealous me, go walk on your own. Tomorrow, the cloud go there by me, the sun day by you. Everything is season, everybody in turn. But remember, say, if you didn't have power today, or if you didn't have the position of authority today, tomorrow will come, and one day will come, you will not be there. Then you're going to be on the other side. And then everything, they call it karma. Then call it karma. Whatever you do, the universe finds a way. The third law of motion, whatever you've thought about me, anything you think about me, it's already been done unto you because it will come back. So I left Unana Godan. Unala will take care of ourselves. Unala will love one another. We might not love everybody. Some people, you got to love them from a distance. Then he say, feed them with long hands, but not all my you go able to communicate with. Because sometimes there are different levels of life. Not all my you go able to talk to. Sometimes just say, you know what, just take the higher road and the bigger road. But till next week, next 2 weeks from now, I'll see you all again by God's grace. I love you all, and remember, God is love. Go make a difference. Go light your world. Go give somebody hope. I love you. Till next week, next 2 weeks, Mr. Shilon and Professor Kutubu, they go hold down the fort while I'm gone. So till next 2 weeks, I see you all. A salute, Fadima, I'm out. Thank you. Can we play that video of President Koroma and President Bio in the State House, please? That is what I want to see. That is what I dream of. I dream of that Sierra Leone. I dream of that Sierra Leone, like Martin Luther King say, I have a dream. I have a
This is our home, Sierra Leone, and we owe it to this nation, irrespective of different parties or regions or ethnicity, to make sure it is a happy nation. So I'm very happy that you're here today. Of course, we will discuss issues of concern, mainly issues relating to national unity and peace in the country, and how we can deepen our relationship and the dialogue necessary to keep the peace.
I can't remember the symmetric eyes. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. Yes. Okay, I will tell everything. Thank you very much. Dr. Ivy. Mr. President, how are you, sir? Fine. Mr. President. Thank you so much. Okay. We will get it. Okay. God bless you, yes, sir. Yes, the priest. Everybody. Right. Yes, sir. How are you? Excellency, sir. Yes, how are you?